where crimes are baked in every show, mysteries rise and truth unfolding. Ready, set, it's time to go. We stand the time to go. Whistling clues, battering news, mixing stories, solving the lies. In this kitchen, secrets are broken with a spark in our eyes. In the broken baker's kitchen, the secrets crumble like sunrise. We'll sift the clues to find the rules with a spark in our eyes. The broken arise. Broken arise. Welcome to the Broken Baker. Get ready. Let's go.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whoever you are, whatever you are, what if anything you are. And welcome. And yes, we started earlier for once because Jamie, I know you've been
Yes.
yelling at me for the last 2 hours that I should buy a new pair of glasses and I should be better at my job. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Jamie, but I was watching Aussie Insider this morning because when we watched this live, I kind of noticed it, but
Me too.
that was one of those things because you're sitting here and watching it, talking, thinking, you don't see it.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at what the very talented Aussie Insider played.
Video of that old cruiser within its sally port, the rear end of which is depicted within Adam Lally's video. So we'll quickly have a look at that video and then I'll show you where he was standing in Adam Lally's video flipped. Notice the front of this Ford Galaxy does not have the reversed insignia of police written on it. It's generally only the front of the car that will have it reversed because that's the only time you'll be looking at it in your vision mirror. If you're behind the car, then it will be the correct direction because obviously you're not looking at it in your vision mirror. Also note the position of this camera up here. These two pieces of information tell us that yes, the sally port video should be flipped. Now, I've got it flipped, and you'll see the big red X here is where Jonathan would have been standing thereabouts to film that previous footage. Something else to note is that something has been parked in this garage. Not long enough for the snow to melt, but it's all sitting in a very nice square. Wouldn't it be ironic if Karen's vehicle is exactly the same size as that square?
We noticed the square on the floor yesterday,
Hmm.
but the part I didn't catch, because now this video is flipped because you can see it says police down on the bottom one.
Oh, wait. It is exactly the same size as that square. Anyway.
Now the guy
let's
gets
video
out on the
right
right
now.
side
Let's
of
watch the rest of it. Okay,
the
I'm
car
gonna shush
because when
now.
we saw it yesterday, I didn't notice it. I thought two people were in the car.
Yeah. So did I.
Just gonna mute. I don't know if music is bad. But this is the video they showed us yesterday. Isn't it? Or is it the... No, it's the same.
The opposite.
Yeah, it's still the opposite. But this is the right way round. I have to go and find the... Is it on this one? No, she doesn't have the video shown in court. Sorry, I gaslight everyone, as I always do. Let me just find the video from yesterday, because when you see it, you can't unsee it. And again, you're wondering why.
Yeah, and I, like you said, I totally missed it until I rewatched, and I was like, wait a second, there's something funky about this.
Yeah, and you're sitting here thinking, you really shouldn't. You shouldn't have all of these little glitches.
Yeah, that too. And then the time jumps and stuff. That's weird.
Yeah, there's 30 seconds of time jumps, and here we go.
Hi, Unbronzed. Hi, Fed.
This is the video we were shown in court yesterday, where you can look at this car. It doesn't say police. And I was watching it yesterday and thought, well, it's the front end of the car. So when you are driving ahead of it, you'll see police in your rear view mirror. But this is the back end of the car because there's an antenna right here.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying any attention, but
I know, Jamie, you don't watch my show.
no. I just mean good catch
Uh,
because I wasn't really even reading that card.
Let's see when it drives in, because this is absolutely stupid. When you see it, you can't unsee it. This is the part that's just really dumb. This is the car arriving.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
Mo.
we
Hello. Have we learned anything new? Or
Yes. Have you noticed this? Karen Reed drives a British model.
yeah watch.
What's the
Why?
driver's side of the car, where the driver gets out of the car?
So is that why they had two people?
Look at the other side. There's no one coming out of
Watch,
the
yeah,
other
watch
side.
the driver's side door. Or what would be the driver's side door.
Karen Reed
What
drives
in
a
the
British Lexus. They effing flipped the
are they
video.
legal?
No,
Oh,
because they flipped the video.
The video's flipped. So we're not even seeing the proper side of the vehicle where the taillight would be and stuff.
They thought that, well, let's just flip the car, because this is the car the right way around.
oh, so they're tricking me.
You don't think about it when you see it the first time, because your brain is just,
No.
oh, someone must have gotten out on the other side.
No, that
But-
does it. Oh my God.
Because if I didn't notice this yesterday, the police
neither.
down on this bumper is now readable, because I had it in my brain. Oh, it's because it's the front end of a police car, so you can see it in your rearview mirror. That's why it's flipped. But then you have the antenna over here. They effing flipped the video of the car in the sally port. So this tail light that we said here yesterday and talked about, oh, it looks complete and everything. Yeah, because nothing's wrong with this side of the vehicle. Why didn't they bring it in through this door so they could show you the right side of the car?
Also, why is a Sally port full of all the crap that's in my garage? Like the 84 bikes I don't use, and the old scooter that someone didn't want.
And why is there a perfect imprint Karen Reed size car around the car that doesn't have snow on it anymore, that we saw all the snow it had on it before it arrived at the sally port?
Yeah, it's very fishy.
And again, it's just stupidity, because why did they need to do this?
Yeah, that's my thing, is if you can win with real facts, then use those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching some recaps and I was like, wait a second. I was like, this doesn't look right at all.
Would they
No.
even sell an off, selling car? Like, would they actually sell an English configured car in America?
You can buy them.
Yeah.
But again, we didn't notice it yesterday, because in our mind,
No.
our mind fills the blanks. So it just automatically put in two people were in that car. We just didn't see
Well,
the driver get out
yeah.
of the car.
Well, that,
you, Whiskey.
and we were trying to decipher the 800 pieces of not glass, but similar to glass, plasticoid. This
Mhm.
is how he's doing it. He's giving so much that you're just like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right.
Yeah. Yeah, when the garage door closes, you will see the number 4 is flipped as well. But again, when you see it live, because your brain always goes to fill out all the gaps. So it just says, well, people have been in the car, because I said that yesterday. Why are 2 people driving the car into the sally port?
Yeah, I
That's
think
so contaminating. I said that.
yeah, we all made a comment like, why does it take 2 of them to drive the car?
This is so crazy.
I know.
Yeah, if they had the real facts, they didn't need to be doing this. And why don't they bring it in the way so the camera will catch the tail light so it's clear? No, it's her car, but instead of what you saw driving in was to let you believe you saw the right side of the car, which doesn't make any sense because that doesn't show a broken tail light. But they flipped it. They flipped the camera, which is, this is again tampering with evidence. I know why they let it in, because, oh, he's gonna love asking, why do you flip the video?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
hope
more
that
sense on why they wanted to see it, like outside the jury.
yeah, I hope the defense is paying attention and has someone that spots this. And from what I've seen, they are very on the
Oh,
ball.
they definitely spotted it because that was one of the things that people were
the
saying Karen mouth was it's
yeah,
on the wrong side.
the only lawyer I don't really care for, and my voice kind of says it, but it's the lady lawyer, and she's got this quaver
Yeah.
in her voice.
Yeah.
Little. Yeah. She's just so, I don't like dislike her. I just think that she doesn't present well.
Well,
But
I
she's
think
probably really
she would.
smart.
I think she would present well, but you have 2 very type A, very flamboyant,
Yeah.
so
Very confident men. And
yeah,
then she kind of just has that like little voice that she sounds like she's scared all the time.
yeah.
But I just love that they did this this really good trick you can do with cameras.
Hmm.
I can't believe I didn't notice that, but I
Yeah.
honestly was trying to look at the taillight so hard,
Yep.
and invigonate.
Okay. Well, us too. I mean, we were all doing it, and we are talking about like, oh, that's weird. Why 2 people? Blah blah blah. And then when I was watching I mean, I knew Baker probably saw it before me, but I didn't get to see any. I was trying to watch a recap last night, but I didn't have time. And then I was watching some this morning, and I was like, wait, that is really odd.
Yeah, and Cynthia, retired firefighter. No, you can't see that the tail light was broken out, where they said the tail light was broken out, because you're seeing the left side of the car. They made a little magic trick.
Yeah.
And Aussie Insider put up another video again where apparently they added timestamps on the bottom of the video, which wouldn't make sense because they have gaps for 30 seconds, and I believe the longest is 50 seconds, where it jumps, where people disappearing. This is clearly tampered with.
Yeah. Well, my other question is, I tried to go back and look at the bar videos. How is he asserting that she's drinking something when she's standing with her back to the video?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he can testify to any of that.
And totally Russian, but yes, they looked at that tail light before they put the dolly next to it, because we were talking about that dolly would be perfect to smash out a tail light. So how could they have found his missing shoe up against the curb under 12 inches plus of snow, but the morning of finding him, they dug out? Well, Tracy Dane, this is the great thing. This is part of the, if you don't think about it, it makes total sense.
Oh, are we going to get to the real, pink elephant in the room? How tall is Officer Spudnik? Because he was like waist deep snow up to my boob pit. Like my man boob was touching nips with the snow. I mean, just absolute.
Yeah, in
Super
snow
fast.
that was on the axle of the car got to his. Even if there's a complete innocent explanation, when you add it to everything else, it just screams shady. Yes, and again,
Yes.
It does.
we live in
Ken.
2024, and I know whenever that's. Did you? What? That was a red guy
I
on your
just
camera.
Yeah, I just zoomed it so you couldn't see all of my like drinks on the desk.
Oh well,
I
alcohol.
try to keep shenanigans off the stream, sort of.
But again, don't tell me the jury doesn't go home and watch this, and they now see the internet flooded with why did they flip it, even if there's the best reason in the world. I would love
Yeah.
Sergeant Buhahadnik because he testified this is a representation of what happened, but it's not clear and accurate. This is Kyle Rittenhouse pinch to zoom moment.
Yeah. And I think we're going to have to get judiciary more up to date on these kind of forensic digital stuff
Yeah.
because I don't think they understand how it's being manipulated. Or at least I don't. And I'm sure that I couldn't tell you what pinch to zoom or algorithm or protocol. No idea.
Or search history on well, a tab stays open, so I should just open one tab, have that continuously running on my PC, so all my searches is happening at the same time because that's how
Yeah.
internet works.
Also, Old Line Red was saying what I was thinking yesterday too, because that whole testimony was she opened the bar tab at $52. He
52.8.
paid it. So $52 worth of drinks when
Yeah, that's what I said
And
yesterday. What
like what?
in total that was 4 Cheetos and 5 beers if she didn't tip.
Well, and I mean, are we vilifying her for drinking when everyone was drinking?
Yeah, because she's the only one on the stand.
Well, yeah.
She's the only one being charged.
Jamie, what do you get when you cross a super chat with an elephant? I don't know either, but where are my steroids?
Zach. Oh my God.
No, they haven't even talked about how she killed him because that plastic chick should be talking about, oh, here you can see the impact that destroyed the tail light. She just put it back together. She didn't say, oh, this piece is missing because this is the clear impact. She just
Did
said,
we
yeah, I
ever
put it back
find
together.
Well, that's all she was
DNA?
supposed to do, and they wasted a whole 2 days on her that they shouldn't have. Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
But did we
Well,
find DNA on any of the pieces that showed that he had?
There's no DNA. And
There's
that's
no
what that lady
DNA
testified
or
to.
biological matter on the car.
Oh,
Yes.
well, just that one brave little hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
The pube that could.
Rubia, this is the question we've been asking. Now because again, we saw that yesterday, and I mentioned the square on the floor, but what we didn't see was the guy on the wrong side, and you can see tire marks going in and out of the grass. Why would they not clean an area before they put in a suspect vehicle? Doesn't help you that you sweep it after it's been sitting there.
It's so fishy.
And we
Yeah,
saw
they're
that before.
supposedly really smart and all by the book, and this is exactly how all investigations go.
Hey, JC, another day in the house. And again, why would you not clean an area where we saw the car before it went away from Dighton. It was full of snow.
Yeah.
The waist-high snow that was 12 inches high. And when it drove into the Sally port, it was clear. There was only a buildup of snow on the windshield wipers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like it's been sitting in that garage dumping the snow.
Okay, I think chat brings up a cogent point. Do we believe that Officer Spudnik will have gained his MD
Oh, yeah.
overnight and talk about
Yes.
abrasions and
I heard a
subdural
lot of people
hematomas.
talking about that last night, that was ridiculous for him to start talking about the medical stuff that he has no expertise on.
Well, I mean, he's been an officer and he has no upper lip. Though he doesn't have a mustache, so do we really believe him?
Yeah,
Even-
that I think they're very worried about what they have, and the fact that I don't think they're calling Proctor is gonna be crazy.
Zach says, even though I pay to have them read, my jokes don't always make sense.
Oh my god.
Same.
That
No.
joke alert. That
Go!
joke alert.
Get out of here. Oh, Zach.
Lawyer, you know, said the plastic girl should have been a few hours, not all day. Every witness so far should have.
Oh yeah.
Let's just go back to it. We mentioned this case a lot of times. Me and Jamie did Laurie Ann Phillips. It was a wonderful weekend, and we covered her case as well. That could get a little joke. But that week, that case, which was exactly the same, a hit and run. Well, not a hit and run, but a bump. They had even more technical evidence. They had people in talking about damage to the car and how and when. They didn't have 45 witnesses talking about how John used to play Little League basketball and what shoe size they wore. That case lasted, I believe it was less than a week, maybe a week,
Yeah,
5
I
days.
think about, yeah.
And it was
we found it
exactly
on like
the
a
same.
2 o'clock on the middle of the week.
Yeah, I think it
And I said,
started a
Baker,
Wednesday
hey,
and ended
look.
a Friday.
Yeah, we're like, hey, look at this. So
And this is, if you take all the other stuff away, if you forget all the people demonstrating outside, if you forget the doink, if you forget,
I like turtles.
all you have here is a hit and run and a DUI. That's all
Yes.
you have. And any lawyer would say that's not that hard to prove. Why do we know about when everyone
Could I
went
see
to school?
counsel at sidebar about a couple of things, please?
Oh, we started at sidebar.
Ooh.
it's because she needs to get on the bench sooner and do the sidebars before start. I get annoyed of her.
Yeah, we're 10
So
minutes late, and she starts with a sidebar. Absolutely ridiculous. And she need to say, Lally, all of these stupid witnesses you wasted 20 days with, get out of here.
I mean, because can't we go to repetitive and, oh gosh, what's the word when you've done it over and over again?
Repetitive and
cumulative.
Cumulative. Yeah. I mean, did we need every single person in the house? Well, we wouldn't have if you had just started with, here is the medical examiner. They're going to explain how these injuries are possible. Had they run a clean case, you wouldn't have to spend time shoring up, the dams in the defense or in the defense's
in
case.
the state's case.
Yeah. Well,
And,
the
the
defense
Clara
is challenging.
The glare is still there.
And the Clara is seated right next to the family. I heard people talking about Proctor not testifying at all, and the theory is that he will plead the fifth. No actual reports about that yet. Lally will try to get him away from the stand, not touch the stand, and then when he comes up for the defense, he will plead the fifth. His career as a police officer will be over, but it won't harm this case because they got all the evidence in through Bukaknik, and they probably can't get in that he was looking for nudes. Bev's hit the bottle early.
From what I hear around the lawyers that talk about this is that he can't plead the fifth on like everything. If he did, there's some things, yeah, but he wouldn't be able to just plead the fifth on every question.
I have seen Dave Chappelle's show, Jamie. Don't tell me.
Stop it.
Everything we learned from Dave Chappelle.
Marissa, you put up something yesterday. My brain blanked the second it saw it.
What?
Don't
What was
tell
it?
me that's true.
What?
Well,
What?
Jamie, we might be looking for another case to fill some time.
Oh, for
Why?
flip's sake.
Oh, for Christ's sake. What is happening?
Well, Jesus, Felarowski sent me a...
Is she just taking a whole hiatus in June?
No, it's not that bad. Can I find it? Next week, court, not court, court. The week after, court, not court, not court or court. There's nothing there. And the week after, only Monday is set for court. So out of the next 10 court dates, at least 3 of them are not in court.
Well, I guess it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse, but why?
I know.
This case has been planned for a year. Why?
Yeah,
Don't
why
they-
are we having... If this judge wasn't
Well,
able
because
to put it
apparently
into her
when
schedule...
to get to seat a jury the way they did, they had to, like, from what I heard, is they had to go through, and anytime a juror like needs time off or they have something going, they like accommodated them. So it sounds like some of this too is like due to the jury. So I don't know, but again, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, American Dreamer, he did do that because he found all the glass and all the pieces of tail light. So to prove a chain of custody, they have to have Proctor in.
Well, good, Dave. We love having our lawyers around.
Mo Green liked it, the scientist from yesterday. Which one of them, the little mousy pixie cut or the 41-year-old vampire who didn't look a day over 20?
I thought you said she was like 27.
No, she was 41.
Oh.
I'm 27,
Oh.
Jamie.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, thank you for that, Dave. Always nice that you're harassing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to hit everyone's vacation now.
ooh.
Yeah, graduation. But again, you should plan around that when you set the calendar. That's why she asked them, how long is this going to take? Well, 5-6 weeks. In the end, probably Lally will be right, because out of those 5 or 6 weeks, we haven't had 1 week with full days of trial.
No.
This is insanity.
Yeah. Because she runs interference for the state, that's all I can say. She's really good at losing appeals.
That's what I hear.
And but again, we're just sitting here thinking, they hello, that's a daring cut for court.
What?
The booblets on this
Hey.
lady.
She paid good money for those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let her have let her show them
Yeah.
off.
Nothing other than they flipped the video they showed yesterday. Yeah, but she's gonna hurry the defense along all the time. Yeah, she paid good money for those.
You are unmuted.
That's up for the defense to point that out. She does have booblets. I can see them.
All persons have any business before the Honorable Beverly Canoni, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court, in by copy of Norfolk.
Honorable.
Your attendance and shall be heard by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Court is now open. May be seated.
22117, the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Could I have the witness, please?
So Good morning again, Council and Ms. Reed. Good morning, viewers. We appreciate your patience. Giving us this time actually helps streamline things today, so we appreciate
No, it
that.
doesn't.
I do have to ask you
Deb,
those
don't
3
lie.
questions. Were you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation into this case? Were you also able to follow the instructions and refrain from discussing this case with anyone since we left yesterday?
Hey, Maria.
Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case?
Yeah, I saw
since we
that video
left
yesterday. Was false.
Very much. Everybody answered those questions appropriately. Okay, can we have Sergeant Buchanan, please?
Over under on how long he's gonna yammer on. Can he keep him on the stand?
I'm gonna say I say he tries to keep him on this whole half day.
No. If
3 hours.
if he comes in and he has one question left, I'm gonna find Bev. Give her a swift punch.
I do.
Trial would start at 9:30 or moist 30.
Oh my God. Tim, no. Shame on
You do not encourage bad behavior.
All right, Mr. Lally, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Circle back just to a couple things that from your
God, he's
testimony from
circling
yesterday.
back.
Going back to the video that you reviewed from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall. In total, from those 2 videos, how many drinks did you observe the defendant consuming over her time?
The video shows 9 drinks being consumed by the defendant.
And that's between when she arrives at C.F. McCarthy's until the time that she leaves the waterfall, is that correct?
That is correct.
And if I could turn your attention to the ring videos from One Meadows Avenue, Mr. O'Keefe's residence. From the videos that you observed, let me ask you first, as far as, do you know how those cameras work as far as when they turn on and when they turn off?
My understanding is that ring surveillance video is triggered to be recorded through motion. So if the camera detects motion, which is constantly live monitoring, and motion is detected, then that video is captured to a cloud-based system that retains that footage.
And from your review of those videos, what kind of motion would set those off? Like what kind of things would be recorded?
Oh my
from the
God.
driveway camera?
Oh, for God's sake.
The activity in the driveway, such as a person walking through, bird landing, a vehicle pulling in, individuals, moving around in the driveway,
Moving.
and so forth.
The
Yeah,
search warrant
we
that
got
was
it.
applied for was any and all
Ninjas,
videos
Ninja
between January
Turtles.
24th and January 30th, correct?
For one of the search warrants, that's correct, yes.
And with respect to that time frame, what, if any, activity based on information that you had received was not available or was not shown on those ring videos?
The data returned
They only have a bar tab for
had video that
well,
would have been
maximum
captured
5 TVs.
from the defendant arriving home after midnight on the 29th, after she dropped Mr. O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview Road. That video was not present in the data that was returned from Ring. There was,
What, if any, other video in addition to that one was not present?
Oh my.
there was also video missing.
How can you ask a question? What if any other video was also missing? That
How
means
does he
you
know
know
what he
what
missed?
video was
And
there.
First, I
You
don't like
can't
the way
ask.
they.
That's a double negative.
It's so stupid.
I'm getting dumber, and I thought
I'm
I was supposed
getting
to be
mad.
smarter.
You can't testify to something not being there unless you knew it was there to begin with.
Exactly. You don't know if it was there to begin with. You know how many times my Ring camera has not picked things up, and then it picks, like people have been saying in chat, a fly will fly by and it'll record a fly, but people will pull in my driveway and it won't pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, or oh my gosh, the state couldn't find the time where we were totally going to see the broken taillight past the library.
And again,
So-
how is the motion activated camera in the salad port? Oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about your missing video, jackhole. Jesus.
Sequel Squirrel, you are just in time. again, he is reading from the script. All the officers drank all day, and now they want to prove that Karen was drunk. Lally, please sit down. JC, the sad thing is, we have officers testifying that they drove drunk and was so aware of it, they didn't even want to drive a government vehicle, because you can drive drunk in a private vehicle, just not in a government vehicle.
Mhm.
And
Sounds like
Karen
off the
having
wall.
a certain amount of drinks, and everyone testifying she wasn't drunk, is a big problem.
From the defendant showing Miss McCabe and Miss Roberts the damage to her right rear taillight.
No.
what if any
When?
follow-up-
Where?
How can you say that? Because we saw them go past. So you
I didn't.
you better have those videos from Ring where they told you, yes, they were recorded.
Okay.
So we're taking the McCabe's word that she did that, and
Yeah.
okay.
Well, also we got testimony that she didn't have access to the Ring camera, so explain
Yeah.
that too.
And K Squared, yeah, I had a moth fly off somewhere in my living room one night when it was a nice night sensor, and it sent an alarm to me when I was on vacation. All kinds of things can set it off. Other
Yeah.
times, people can walk outside and nothing happens.
Any inquiry was then done with
Yep.
regard to Ring as far as those types of videos or deletion, or how those videos could not be present?
Correspondence with Ring produced information that
Sustain.
Yeah. Get the F out of here.
Let me
Yeah.
ask this.
Call the
first,
Ring
then.
guy.
Was there follow-up with Ring in regards to those videos?
yes, there was.
And was there ever anything produced with regard to those videos or those timeframes from Ring?
No, there was not.
If I could turn your attention over to your time in Dayton, just in reference to subsequent to that later on, what, if anything, did you receive, or what, if anything, did you request? What, if anything, did you receive from the Dayton police in regard to January 29, 2022?
I communicated with the Dayton Police Department requesting documentation from their officers' calls for service at our request, and log notes, logs from their dispatching center, as well as any reports that would document their activity if such reports existed.
And did you, what, if any, information did you receive in relation to that?
I received a log note or log printout from their CAD system, and I received a report authored by Officer Barrows.
And did you also receive any 911 calls?
Yes.
And who was the party as far as the 911 caller in regard to those 911 calls that you received?
It was Mr. Reed.
And again, just for clarity purposes, that's the defendant's father, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's from the morning of January 29th, is that also correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to February 3rd, 2022. At some point that morning, where did you go?
During the morning hours of February 3rd, we planned to meet at 34 Fairview Road. Myself, Trooper Proctor, and Trooper DeChico arrived at that location in order to conduct a secondary search of the area as the temperatures were turning and the snow was melting naturally. We decided to do another search for articles that were now, we realized and learned, were missing and could be of evidentiary value and aid in the in the investigation.
And with respect to going to 34 Fairview Road, what, if any, tools or what, if anything, did you bring with you, you and the other troopers, in regard to conducting that secondary search?
I requested the troopers bring shovels, rakes, anything like gardening items that would help them to dig through the snow and locate any missing items.
And as far as the temperature change that you're talking about, how precipitous a change are we talking about?
Call the weatherman.
The temperatures went above freezing, so the snow did begin to melt, and it was
Now he's a
significantly warmer compared
meteorologist?
to the 18 degrees the night of the incident.
Now, you mentioned items of evidentiary value that you had learned of and were looking for. What, if any, clothing items, Mr. O'Keefe, were you looking for specifically on February 3rd?
We were specifically looking for Mr. O'Keefe's baseball cap.
And in addition to yourself, Trooper Proctor and Trooper Chico, who, if anyone else, did you notify, or who, if anyone, from any other unit within the state police responded that day as well?
We requested the assistance of the crime scene services section of the Massachusetts State Police, and Trooper Evan Brandt showed up to assist us with documentation of the location and the evidence that we were hopefully going to find.
And from those, Trooper Brent arrived and took photographs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And when was it that Trooper Brent arrived in relation to your arrival?
I believe he was already present when we pulled up, but I'm not sure to his exact time of arrival.
And with regard to that day, what, if anything, in general terms, what, if anything, were you able to locate and where was it, generally speaking?
We located Mr. O'Keefe's baseball hat. We located a drinking straw from a cocktail glass.
Oh
We
my
located items.
You found a drinking straw.
The Shroud of Turin.
Just the. Oh
The
my
Dead Sea
God.
Scrolls. Now they found a drinking glass after the
They
snow
found-
melted.
They
They
found
found a
swivel
straw
stick?
from
Yeah,
the drinking
sorry,
from a
my
drinking
brain-
glass.
My brain
Oh my
just
God.
my brain
Did they
just,
find a lime too?
Did they just find a full like cocktail drink sitting in the snow?
That's how she lured him out. She put Tito's and a lime out and a
Yeah,
little
she
glass.
just set it down in the road and said, "Hey, come get it," and then I'm
Like
gonna hit the
Lucy.
gas.
With Charlie Brown. What is that?
just before we go back to the trial, try to look on the screen.
Sorry.
This is the shoe shown in court.
That's a black bottom,
That's
Wait,
the shoe
isn't it?
found on the road.
What in the actual horse poo?
is there like pictures all messed up all the time or something? Are they inverting everything to like trick us? Are we stupid?
Jamie,
is going
this
on?
has a black sole and this has a white sole. I know, and I'm
That's what
proud
I'm
of you
trying
for
to-
not seeing color. But why the?
No, I'm
I
just.
thought it-
I'm trying to make
I
it
am
make
proud
sense,
that you're
right?
not racist, Jamie.
Shut up. I don't see color. Yes.
Let's get back
That's
to
what I
trial.
mean. Like, is it a shadow? What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, what is?
No, because you can see the stapling.
Well, yeah, that looks black. What
Yeah.
are they trying to pull?
I don't. Oh, I can't wait for cross. Well, let's get back
Use
to
of,
keep on watching.
Yeah, let's
Plastic, colored
just fast
plastic, and
forward
other
through Lally. please.
shards of colored plastic at the location. All those items were located on the grass portion of the yard near the flagpole at 34 Fairview Road.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
You saw the shoe in person yesterday, and that had the cleanest white sole for a
I
shoe that's
know.
been laying in snow for 11 hours. It was pristine.
And then dried
May I have a
out
moment?
in a butcher paper.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like, please don't be mean to my guy.
And Sergeant, I'm going to show you a series of photos, but I'm going to break this up a little bit.
So, Mr. Lally, with your back to the jurors and the air conditioning on, I'm sure they can't hear you.
My apologies. So, sir, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some photographs, a series of them, but I'm going to break them up a little bit just to make it,
Okay, sir.
hopefully, quicker.
yeah. Chip chop chip. Let's go.
So first, I'm going to show you 10 photographs. Ask if you could.
Just the one found
finish.
at the scene. Something keeps connecting and disconnecting. No, they turn pristine. It becomes the whitest, nicest sole on the, and the black has no
Okay.
salt on it. Walking around
for nothing.
outside, no
But
salt on it.
God, I hope the boys learn to clean their shoes like that, because it's cleaner than when it was bought.
Do you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Those are photographs documented the items located at 34 Fairview Road on the grass as the snow receded through the melting temperatures that were revealed to be positioned in the grass.
And what's contained in those photographs, is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you observed on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Let's see where it's positioned.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson? Okay.
You didn't miss a thing, Sue. It's
JC,
fine.
yeah, let's just hope that defense pulls up. I know they have microdots connected to the defense team somehow. They are really good with technical evidence. And I have a good idea because they have talked to Aiden before. I have a great idea that they have a strong social media presence. It's like the dress that broke the internet a few years ago. It's blue, it's black, or white and gold. Well, this is, if you go to Legal Gossip Live, they have two different Nikes.
Thank you.
And it looks like they look kind of the same, but it's not the same.
Yes.
Just one moment, Sharon.
Sure.
Why didn't you prep it while you such him? Well, that's because you're in Holland. You can do stuff like
And Ms. Gilman, if I could start with photograph 7659. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen, what's now been marked as 468?
I do.
And if you could, just for orientation purposes, describe the jury whereabouts in relation to 34 Fairview Road, we are in this picture.
As standing on the street of Fairview Road, we're looking at the left side of the yard.
Did they search
In the
it
right,
in
top
dusk?
right corner, you can tell that there is a flagpole depicted in that photograph and a telephone switch box that's open on the left side, which is on the border of 34 Fairview Road.
If I can ask from this photograph, if you know, grass that's visible on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road, is that from a natural melting process, or is that from some tools that you and the other troops brought to assist you in your secondary?
The reason that grass is exposed is due to processing of the scene and having the snow being moved away from the location, and then natural melting process taking place on top of it. As you can tell, other portions of the yard is covered in snow, and the snow had not, the grass has not revealed itself just yet.
Now, as far as the photographs of various items that were located on this date, February 3rd, the photographs that were they taken as they lay, or were they touched or manipulated in any way prior to the photograph being taken?
The items photographed were discovered as soon as we realized what is being discovered through the digging and excavation process.
No, that was under his body.
They were then photographed instantly. Certain items were revealed naturally through the melting process and the snow, no longer concealing those items underneath.
Where's the timestamp, and how do you perform a search in dusk without any lighting?
I don't know.
Again, well,
These pictures suck too, because they're taking pictures in the dark.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen? It has now been marked as Exhibit 470.
I do.
What do you recognize?
now it's light out.
That is a clear black and red piece of plastic.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7669. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's now on the screen as Exhibit 473?
Yes, that is another piece of plastic.
And sort of towards the top middle of the screen, do you recognize what that is?
Yes, that's a fire hydrant from 34 Fairview Road, grass area.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have the next photograph, 4670. For the record, this is Exhibit 474. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Is that a closer up image of what was depicted in prior exhibit?
Yes, he's sitting
Yes, it
right
is.
next to the family. Why was the first picture so dark when this isn't dark?
Photograph 7672. And sir, you recognize what's up on the screen, which has now been marked as Exhibit 476.
I do.
And when do you recognize that, Steve?
Another piece of red taillight plastic.
And lastly, from dispatch, Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7673. Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen, depicted in what's now marked as Exhibit 477?
I do.
What do you recognize that?
That is the fire hydrant and the telephone switch box located on the edge of the property.
That's nowhere near where they said they found the body. The body was found somewhere over here between the fire hydrant and the flagpole. The other pictures we saw, this bush was on the left side. So now they're saying right over here is.
Yeah.
So now they have to draw me a picture of all the spots they found the evidence. So I can, because this tail light blew all the hell out of it to the right side.
Line at 34 Fairview Road.
Now, the photographs that I had just placed before you, haven't you had a chance to review those?
I have.
And do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
And what do you recognize those?
The property at 34 Fairview Road, left corner towards the street, capturing the flagpole and the telephone switch box.
May I approach, John?
Yes.
Come off the seat to introduce and admit the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's go, Lally. Hurry up.
I'm sorry, thank you, Rubia. This is not common core, this is Canton core. Missings. Yeah, but then you can't say, you get... Yeah, some of them would have snow on them, and some of them would have drifted away with the melting snow. How did they find all of it? And how did they find the biggest pieces in the end? Again, this makes absolutely no sense unless you absolutely don't think about it.
Yeah, don't think about it. Though.
Oh, the magic jar just robbed the mailbox for tail light plastic.
Thank you.
Madly appear in totally irrelevant places.
Your Honor, with court's permission, if I
Okay.
can publish a few of the
Baker,
photos
have
for
we
a second.
thought she's maybe a wizard and she used transmogrification?
That's how the
She's from Hogwarts.
by the post box.
Imagine that.
Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7681.
That now there's evidence places that makes absolutely no sense for anything else, and they tried to make him testify what, if anything, was missing for the from the video that you didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant, you recognize what's up on the screen. It has now been marked as exhibit 481.
I do.
If you could describe to the jury what's depicted in this photograph.
A red piece of plastic.
Wow.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have the
Where?
next one, 760.
Can you use the pointer to show us where that is, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, please.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Gilman, 7682. And Sergeant, you recognize what's depicted on the screen and has now been marked as exhibit 482.
I do.
You know, I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for just a minute, please.
Are she gonna say,
Ooh.
Lally, you big old idiot?
Bev
We
is
don't
getting
have to go through all of
testy.
this. You have proven all the things, and
She's probably yelling at him. They need to start pointing this stuff out because you can't just keep talking like that and not.
oh, Sue O'Connell
Right.
for NBC Boston, and by sidebar I mean she's animately speaking to Lally.
Ooh,
Good.
mommy laying the smack down.
Can they also get him to testify why no evidence markers was used in the entirety of this case?
That is a
You are
good
unmuted.
question.
Yeah, because if they're taking pictures of these pieces, they need to mark them.
I'm sorry, Ms. Gilman, 7682. Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen as exhibit 482?
I do.
What do you recognize that to be?
A red piece of plastic.
That the
It wasn't an objection, it was her calling them to the bench.
same piece of plastic that pulls our image from the prior exhibit?
Yes, it is.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7684. Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen and is now marked as exhibit 484?
I do.
Yes,
What do you recognize
yes,
that
they
to
will.
be?
A white clear piece of plastic and the red piece of plastic.
And lastly, from this, sir, Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7687. So again, you recognize what's up on the screen. It's now
Perfectly
marked as
placed
exhibit
again.
487.
I do.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the photos before you, have you had a chance to review that set of 10 as well?
Not this one yet, not yet.
If you could, please.
You lady in the back, don't think about it. Just accept. Thank you so much, Panella, for the
Sergeant, do you recognize
all
what's
of
depicted in those photographs?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Items that were located in the street, being the black cocktail drinking straw, and then black pieces of plastic, molding plastic, and clear pieces, and that were located in the street, being the black
Please listen.
Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Items that were located in the street, being the black cock.
Items being located in a street that has been plowed, salted, and where it's melted. A straw stayed there. Thank you for the
Oh,
3
for
corner
God's
kisses,
sake.
Vanilla. I needed this today.
Tail drinking straw, and then black pieces of plastic, molding plastic, and clear pieces and molding from taillight.
Mayor Pro
Yep.
Tem.
Yes.
Almost 6 minutes next time.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
None, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Sake. As I've said many a time, it's again just to show the big pile of evidence they showed the jury so the jury thinks they saw something.
Good catch though, because
Thank you.
that street was plowed and driven on.
Your Honor, with court's permission, if I could display some of these photographs.
Okay.
Why didn't you show the glass? In the,
Gentlemen, if I could
or
have
the plastic?
7688. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
I do.
What do you recognize it to be?
It's the wide shot of the drinking straw being found on the edge of the roadway in
Nope.
front of 34 Ferry Road.
Sergeant, if you could.
Sir,
use the laser pointer before you
get
direct
the
those
F outta
where you
here.
serve that straw. And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7689.
How do you know the straw isn't just the neighbor's straw he threw out the window?
View of the same straw.
Because no one else was
God.
drinking that day.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7692.
Is it about the drinker clock?
Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the
Yes.
screen and has now been marked as exhibit 492?
I do.
And
What
are we
is
looking at
this?
492?
Piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler that's provided
You
for
finally got a
comparison
ruler?
and, by the crime.
They found a drinking straw in a street that's clearly been cleared from snow. A plastic drinking straw that weighs what? A couple of grams at most.
It's flimsy AF.
It stayed
Baker.
there in a blizzard, in rain, in snow, people driving on the street, and it's perfect. Nope, it's not
Baker?
raining. Someone is peeing on my back.
Okay, you can have a hot toddy like me. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm seeing photographer
this is so stupid.
to
I'm
document the
sorry.
item.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have
Jesus
7695.
Almighty.
JKD Buck.
Jesus.
For the record, this is now exhibit 494. Sergeant, what are we looking at in 494?
It's the same item from just prior, just zoomed in more, showing the detail, the black molding, the clear white clear plastic, and red plastic.
Sergeant, as far as those photographs before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what those are?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize those?
There are pieces of red plastic, pieces of clear plastic, and a piece of glass.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
I'm about to seek to introduce the minutes next exhibit. No objection.
Thank you.
No objection, because all this evidence is bullshit.
It's 498 through 508.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could publish just a few of these photographs for the jury as well.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7700. For the record, this is now exhibit 498. Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at a red piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler on the edge of the grass on the property at 34 Fairview Road by the road.
And if you could, sir, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to where you observe that item being in this photograph.
Right there.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7705. And for the record, this is exhibit 502. Sergeant, if you could, again, describe to the jury what, if anything, is significant you know in there.
It's a shard of red plastic next to a measuring ruler.
And these are 3
Gilman, if I
inches
could have
or 3
photograph
centimeters long.
7708.
Where are they? 11 centimeters long.
The record is now exhibit 504. Again, Sergeant, if you could, using a laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, is significant you know in this area.
There is a black piece of plastic molding next to a measuring ruler.
And lastly, from this set, Ms. Gilman, exhibit, photo number 7712.
The side of the
Again, for the record, this is exhibit 508. And again, Sergeant, if you
The
could,
tail
using
light.
the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, is significant you know in this.
A clear piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler.
That's found on the grass area as well, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to that new set of photos before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what's contained within those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that those photographs to contain?
They contain small red pieces of plastic from 34 Fairview Road on the grass area where we located the others. Also contain a flimsy piece of circular, like very malleable plastic, clear plastic. In addition to that,
Now he's a
And-
plasticologist.
A malleable plastic? What are you talking
This
about?
was the lid from the Tupperware that where he said "ay ay 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 ay" when he put that on screen. Jesus. The part that's not his head. Oh, the computer guy just got something for them. Interesting. The takeout from the Asian house, yeah. It's just to show.
And Your Honor, may I publish some of these
chain of
photos? to the jury?
custody for it.
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7715. For the record, this is now exhibit 511. Sergeant, direct your attention to the screen. If you
What is
could,
this?
using that laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to
What part of the tail
significant
light?
you observe in this photograph.
that is the thin, malleable, circular in shape, a piece of clear plastic that was located in the lawn area of 34 Fairview Road.
What is it, sir?
It's takeouts from Al's Deli.
Yeah, what does it go to?
Ham salad.
Yeah,
Now, lastly, Sergeant,
I will try to
there's,
make it today
that
or
set of
tomorrow.
photos that I just placed before you. Yeah, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
There are items. Those are items recovered in the lawn at 34 Fairview Road. Those items are a shard of glass, a BPD baseball hat with an American flag, and stains of blood.
Your may I approach?
Yes.
what?
I'll also introduce you into the next.
Oh,
exhibits. Sorry, no judge.
Yeah. Oh, thank you to all the surviving heroes from the D-Day, which was 80 years ago today. It looks like a to-go lid. And again, if someone throws out a to-go lid, could they have thrown out their straw from their drinking glass?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sighing just like you, Bev. You feel my pain. Yeah, she suffocated him with a clear plastic bag, and
Makes
then
sense.
beat him in the back of the head with a glass that shattered and landed on top her, embedded into her rear bumper, but didn't embed into it at all because that glass only was consistent with something Proctor found one of his when he was out walking the dog. Yeah, apparently they found the hat. Why didn't they find that during the first 2 searches of the scene?
Baker, have you thought that there was snow? They couldn't find it. God was preventing them.
How about the glass that doesn't match anything? Was that where's that? Trooper B doesn't know that because that's Trooper P who finds that later. Yeah, somewhere in the Midwest, some her mom is missing her Tupperware lid.
I thought that looked familiar, but
Yeah.
I use the country crock, so if you're
Well,
fancy and buy real Tupperware.
5 what?
we know
Thank
it's
you
not
very much.
Jamie's aunt because she's not one of those who
Thank you.
give
And
you
Your
a
Honor, with the court's,
Tupperware
No,
top.
she doesn't give me food.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, may I publish some of these photos for the jury as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's why there's DNA
Gentlemen,
evidence
if I
on
can
this
have
floor.
photograph 7727. For the record, this is now exhibit 520. And again, Sergeant, if you could direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you observed in this photo.
I observed a shard of glass next to a measuring ruler.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7729.
Oh, all this
For the
glass
record,
that
this is
didn't
exhibit
amount to anything?
522. Again, Sergeant, if you could describe the jury what was-
Now this is all the way
It's
over by
a
the
larger
electrical.
piece of red plastic with black molding around the edge, located next to the telephone switch box on the grass area at 34 Fairview Road.
Marissa, if you're out in the pool drinking, can you pull up a Google map and try to spot it, all of this into a map?
For the record, this is exhibit 526. And Sergeant, from this photograph, what, if anything, are we looking at here?
This photograph here depicts the area which we are excavating during the morning hours of
He's an
February 3rd,
archaeologist.
2022.
That store's
As the
stayed
shovel
there for
works its way towards the grass,
4 days.
my laser pointer is directing your attention to Mr. O'Keefe's
5 days.
hat that was compacted underneath the snow on the ground.
Now, as far as this photograph is concerned, does that accurately depict the depth of the snow that you were digging into and sifting through on the morning of February 3rd?
It does.
And that, again, is several days after the blizzard of January 29th, correct?
That's 5 days.
That is correct.
And Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7740. For the record, this is exhibit 530. And again, Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at Mr. O'Keefe's hat on the grass, pressed down and compacted to a flat surface underneath the snow, which has been excavated around it.
That no one else found.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down.
I hate the way he uses
Thank
some
you,
words. He is so stupid.
In my town, we have
Sergeant, on
we have
February 3rd,
elderly people go and pick
2022,
up all
is
that
that
road
the
trash.
first time that
Yes.
you had been at 34 Fairview Road?
Yes, it is.
And with respect, if I could turn your attention briefly to the following day of February 4th.
Yeah, that snow was way too compacted to be natural snow. Again, we know the CERT team dug out the entire lawn, according to the CERT team, from the door to the fire hydrant, and they found none of this. 5 days later, these 2 idiots and a third cop goes out with rakes and shovels, and they found everything.
Yeah. and
Even in my blunt brain, that absolutely makes siente, nada, nothing, niet sense. I don't know why I said
Well,
Siente.
but
0.
also, why are we assuming that Karen Reed is the only person that maybe flubbed a little on driving during a blizzard of snowmageddon? I mean, were those all consistent chemically and everything, or did we just duct tape them together and have the two most boring people in the entire world try to confuse us?
Yes. Yeah, and where in the snow was the hat? We don't
Thank you
know
for
because we saw
agreeing
no
with me.
establishing shot other than the opening one. So maybe there is a lot of overview shots where you can see it, but I can't figure it out.
I can't figure out how some pieces are like the fact that never mind. I'm keep going.
Did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day?
Yes, I did.
And what brought you to 34 Fairview Road on February 4th?
This is the day after.
Having excavated those items on the 3rd, I directed the troopers in my office, who obviously reside in the communities around us, to make a point to travel by that location every day on the way to work and every day on the way home. The purpose of that was to see if anything else was to reveal itself as the snow naturally melts away and items could present themselves. So on the February 4th, as I am traveling to work, I diverted my typical route of travel to go by 34 Fairview Road. Just prior to my arrival, I received a call stating that there was 10 police representatives at the scene, and more items have been revealed due to the melting snow, and that I should come collect those items. I was down the street. I arrived and collected the item that presented itself.
And if you recall, that item that you collected on February 4th, was that located on the lawn, on the street, or something else?
It was on the lawn.
Now, with reference to your collection of these items, either on February 3rd, February 4th, or on any sort of subsequent date, how were they collected?
And again, Canton PD was conflicted out and couldn't search this scene. So why did they call him?
And what exactly did you do with them in reference to the seizing of the items and storage of the items?
Each item that was collected was placed in a evidence paper bag. The collection was done by utilizing latex gloves to prevent any transfer of evidence from fingerprints to DNA onto those items. Then those items were transported to our office, logged into the system, and stored in the evidence lockers at the office.
And each of those respective bags of items or evidence, they were sealed as well, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, turning your attention to February 10th of 2022, did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day as well?
I did.
And what, if anything, did you observe, or what, if anything, did you seize on that particular day?
We seized more shards of glass and plastic.
And if you know, or if you recall, how many pieces did you seize on that particular day?
My memory is exhausted to that, but the exact numbers annotated on the bags that the items were placed into.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Marissa. Sorry,
I'm showing
Marissa.
you documents attached to look at that
It
section
happened
and
to
look up.
Jimmy's. At this point, I'm just baffled that
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
this
Marcus,
is
do you remember refreshed as to how many items or what the items were that you recovered on February 10th?
Yes, it is.
And what were those items and how many, sir?
There was 6 items of clear red and black plastic and 14 items of plastic and glass.
Now, in addition to the dates that you were present at 34 Fairview Road and recovered items, them being February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th, were there other dates that you're aware of that items were recovered by troopers that you supervised?
Yes.
Troopers.
And if you recall, what were those dates?
The dates were January 29th, February 11th, and February 18th.
Were there items recovered on February 8th as well?
Yes.
Now, as far as your direction or having, let me first start with you. So on the dates that you were there, February 3rd, 4th, and 10th, were you alone on those dates? Were there other troopers with you when you were there?
On the 4th, I was alone as far as state police personnel. There were other Canton law enforcement representatives at the scene with me as I collected that one item. On the other days, I was accompanied by other troopers.
And as far as you know, obviously not being present, but from your supervision of these troopers, were there other occasions where individuals were at 34 Fairview Road? Were they alone or were they with a group of troopers?
Objection.
Sustained.
You can't get
Now,
Proctor off the.
As far as the,
Why do Agent Gonad's lips keep migrating closer to his nose? Did his false teeth shrink overnight? I think it's his nose growing from all the lying. Thank you, Zach.
items that were recovered when you were there on February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th. Did you have occasion to bring those items with you to court today?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Yes, and
I'm sending you with a box. First, just ask if you recognize that box.
I do.
What do you recognize that?
It's the box storing items
Oh,
log into evidence as they relate to this case.
And Your Honor, with court's permission, may the sergeant open the box?
Yes.
oh, let's speed it up. Oh, it's going to be the hat.
Now, first, Sergeant, with regard to the items, as far as plastic and or glass that you recovered from 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd, if you could locate those items.
Are we going to go through every piece of evidence again? We had the lab tech testify to the. Oh. I can't remember. He said something barracks. No, that was the date.
And Sergeant, with respect to each of those bags, they contain items of evidentiary value, whether they be plastic or glass, that were recovered on February 3rd. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm sorry, how many bags in total do you have there for you?
I have 3 bags, 2 containing broken glass and plastic, and a steering straw, broken red plastic and clear plastic, and a bag containing 1 black Boston Police Department hat.
Your Honor, Commonwealth will seek to introduce in minutes the next 3 exhibits.
No objection.
Okay.
No particular order.
Well, this is not how you use evidence tape. Remember that lead detective who never used evidence tape? Yeah, now the straw staying perfectly on the lawn makes more sense than ever.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with respect to what's now been marked as Exhibit 537, with the court's permission, may the sergeant remove that item, the hat, from the bag and display for the jury.
Yes.
I can't even remember if it's 6 or 7 weeks we've been going. Well, she doesn't touch the inside of the bag. That's not how you open evidence tape. Nope. But DNA wasn't done at that lab.
Thanks, sir. You can
Yeah,
place that back.
Again, how do you keep finding it when they dug through everything and turned over all the snow?
Sergeant, from your observations of Mr. O'Keefe on surveillance video from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall on January 29th, what, if any, similarities did you observe between the hat she just displayed and located on the lawn of 34 Fairview Road and the hat Mr. O'Keefe was wearing in those videos?
It appears to be the same exact hat.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the box of other items, if you could remove what, if any, items you recovered and seized from 34 Fairview Road on February 4th. And again, sir, just for the record, what's contained within that bag from February 4th?
Contained within the bag is a piece of red, hard plastic taillight cover.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce in a minute the next exhibit.
No objection.
Thank you.
Exhibit 538.
And lastly, Sergeant, with regard to the box, if you could remove the items that you seized from February 10th, 2022. And Sergeant, with respect to those 2 bags of items, if you could just inform the jury what is contained within those bags.
Bag labeled item number 10 contains 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic. Bag labeled number 11 is containing 14 pieces of glass and plastic fragments.
Thank you, Sergeant. Your Honor, the Commonwealth seeks to introduce and admit as the next 2 exhibits.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
Sorry, no, Your Honor, thank you.
Dory K, this is that's why I have Jamie on. It's because of
I'm sorry, was that 5:59 in California?
her
Yes.
bird sanctuary.
My bird sanctuary in the backyard.
Thank you, sir.
The sad part is I
Moving on,
can't hear
I'd
them.
like to bring you back just one
guys
last time to the ring videos from One Meadows Ave. As far as you had testified earlier that
Now we're back at the ring
there
videos.
was no video that you observed of the defendant, Ms. McCabe, and Ms. Roberts looking at the passenger side taillight area of the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
Was there any video of the defendant?
Wait,
Ms.
what?
McCabe, and Ms. Roberts actually?
Did he just
There was
say
no-
they didn't have video?
There's no video of them looking at it. It's because there is a video where they arrive at the house, goes inside the house, and goes outside again. Because I saw that while I was in Tennessee. It's because Jen lied when she said Karen stopped us all and said, "Hey guys, stop!" And she was very animated, was standing there. Then she got out some flashlights and torchlights, pointed at them, and say, "Hey, can you see this tail light? It's totally gone. Look at it." Put up big stickers and big boards, shining lights at it with the Aurora, Aurora. That happened. Jen McCabe testified to that. But that video sadly is gone, Jamie.
Yeah. Okay.
You just have the other one where they walk into the house.
Yeah.
Shooting from One Meadows Ave on that morning of January 29th?
There was not.
Now, as
So
far
just
as the
believe me
videos,
that it happened.
That
Of course.
were not there, as far as the defendant, Ms. McCabe, Ms. Roberts leaving. The next video depicted Mr. Camerano arriving at the residence to pick up Ms. Fergus, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And with regard to the missing video of the defendant arriving at One Meadows Ave on January 29th, sometime after midnight, the video immediately preceding that, again, would have been Mr. Camerano arriving and picking up his daughter from One Meadows Avenue sometime around 11:30 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
And those videos were both present, correct?
That's correct.
But if
If I
you
could
just,
bring you back to,
oh, that was probably a good way to answer it. Did you see it of them looking at the tail light? No, I didn't. That didn't exist. But there exists the one where they walk into the house. So he didn't lie. He just didn't tell the truth.
February 3rd, 2022. On that date, did you have occasion to meet with a gentleman by the name of Brian Higgins?
Yes, I did.
And when you met with Mr. Higgins, who, if anyone from your office, was with you when you met?
Trooper Mike Proctor was from my office present during that interview.
Did you know him?
And during the course of that interview, what, if any, documentation did Mr. Higgins provide you with?
Mr. Higgins provided me with a printout of a Celebrate extraction containing conversations via text message
Nope.
between
That's not
him
right.
and Mr. John O'Keefe, and between him and the defendant. He also provided a digital copy of the same extraction on a CD.
Now, what, if anything,
How'd
did
he
you
get it?
advise Mr. Higgins
How'd
of
he
at
get
that time as far as Mr. O'Keefe's phone and the defendant's phone?
I advised Mr. Higgins that we were in possession of both of those devices and would have the extraction and accurate documentation of those conversations.
And did he seem to understand that when you told him?
Yes, he understood it.
Objection.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Strike that, please.
Why
Now,
is he
also
so
on
shady?
February 3rd, at some point, did you have occasion to go inside of 34 Fairview Road?
Yes, I did.
And who, if anyone, did you interview inside of 34 Fairview Road on that date?
I interviewed Mrs. Albert.
That would be, just for the record, Nicole Albert, is that correct?
That's correct.
And who, if anyone, was present with you during that interview of Nicola?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor was present with me.
Anybody else from the Albert family present in the home or present during the course of that interview?
Mr. Brian Albert was also present. I don't know who else exactly was present in the home. I just know that those two
You
residents
just said
were
no
in the
one
room
was
with us.
there.
And where was Brian Albert at the time that you conducted the interview of Nicola?
In the room with us, seated next to her.
Now, with reference to, I'm going to ask you just a little bit about sort of the interview process as far as the interviews that you conducted in this case.
Yes.
If you could describe for the jury, starting with sort of how many people from your unit are present for a given interview and how those interviews are conducted.
We conduct interviews always at pairs. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Typically, during a regular investigation into a homicide or any death investigation, we pair up our troopers with a local detective. In this instance, since Canton had recused themselves from interview portion of the investigation, they were not going to provide manpower for those interviews to be conducted. Thus, we had to utilize only troopers from our office in order to conduct those interviews.
And typically, obviously not perfect, but as far as the interviews that you were present for, about how long a period of time, generally speaking, were the interviews that you conducted in this case?
From my experience, I have learned that to fully communicate a course of recollection of events that an individual observes, experiences, or is aware of, and understand every detail of that experience, it would take approximately 45 minutes at a minimum to conduct a full interview with a witness in detail.
What?
Why not hours?
Now,
45
sir, if
minutes?
you could turn your attention to
It's
June 9th,
scienceology.
2022. On that date, at some point, did you have occasion to meet with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And at some point during that meeting, did you have conversation with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And was that conversation, or at least portions of it, memorialized in any way?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm showing you a disc. That contain an audio recording, the best of your knowledge, does that contain an audio recording of a portion of your conversation with Ms. Reed on June 9th, 2022?
So we have on.
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'll hold the seat to introduce the minutes of the next exhibit.
All right.
I,
No objection,
I've
Mr.
written-
Jackson? All right, folks, before we play this, again, please be mindful of the instruction from yesterday. So you're about to hear statements allegedly made by the defendant, allegedly concerning the crimes with which she's charged in this case. Before you can consider any such statement as evidence, the Commonwealth must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant made the statement she's alleged to have made and that she made it voluntarily, freely, and rationally. In determining whether the statement made by the defendant was voluntary or not, you may consider all the surrounding circumstances. These include when and where the statement was made, the nature of any conversations with the police or any questioning by the police, the defendant's physical and mental condition, including her intelligence, age,
Slowly.
education, experience, and personality. Your decision does not turn upon any one
Any
factor, and you
statement.
must consider the totality of the surrounding circumstances.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, may we publish that for the jury at this time?
Yes, do you want to turn off the air conditioning? Is this very short, right?
It is very short, and if we could, please, yes.
And now they have the where she said, "I did it. I effing him. He's a MFer, and then okay."
And this is just audio, correct?
Lily, answer that, please. Come on.
Okay, you're aware you just beaten up my friend If we're all in on the same joke, right? But Taylor's correct and John.
This isn't the interview. This is from when she got notified that she was upcharged.
Yep. This is that stupid video they wanted to play so badly that Lally lied about.
Just pulverized.
Thank you. Sergeant,
Good one, Lally.
on hearing that statement from the defendant, what was your reaction?
Objection.
Sustained.
Yeah. What the
On
hell?
hearing that statement, what, if anything, did you do?
The same question.
I advised the defendant not to further speak.
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Now, at some point over the course of your investigation, were you made aware of forensic findings relating to the defendant's tail?
Yes, I was.
And specifically DNA findings?
Yes.
And specifically that there were
Objection.
Sustained. Yes. You can turn the air conditioner.
Like what the actual?
On the mail. The cat's on the mail.
The cat's on the mail.
This is riveting, I'm sure. You're learning a lot.
We've had this video before. I'm sure Baker will can quote what she said. It's not damning at all. It doesn't incriminate her at all. They upcharged her. She sat in the office and said, "You're on the joke, right? Brian and Colin smashed
You are
John's head into the
unmuted.
taillight," or something like that.
May I have one moment?
Yes.
He's the electric guy.
Okay.
So Sergeant Mechanic, on January 16th, 2024, at some point in that day, did you meet with a Sergeant Gallerani of the Needham Police Department?
I did.
And who, if anyone else, well, let me ask you this. As far as any other troopers from your office, who, if anyone else, was there with yourself and Sergeant Gallerani?
Trooper Mike Proctor.
And what was the purpose of your meeting with Sergeant Gallerani, Trooper Proctor, on that morning?
Collection of our DNA.
And was that something that you did voluntarily?
Yes.
And how was it that the sergeant collected your DNA?
Through a buccal swab.
And were you present when Trooper Proctor submitted to a buccal swab as well?
Yes, I was.
And then as far as the swabbings that were taken from both yourself and Trooper Proctor, were those logged into evidence by you, or did Sergeant Gallerani take them with him when he left?
Sergeant Gallerani took him with it when he left.
I don't know, Dory. They're out in the yard, or they're outside. I don't even know where they are, honestly. My window's open. That's why you can hear them.
Madam Mayor, approach.
Yes.
Kiwi, Baker will have to pause and let you know, because we had the original video too of like what she said exactly. Yeah, I don't like Sergeant Berkey. He is
No, he's clearly been coached. I got my support mango drink because I need this.
Everybody
idea.
wanted to know, what was it she said in the video, Baker?
This is a joke, right? My tail light was cracked and John was pulverized.
And John's head was pulverized. That's
And
what
John
she
said-
said.
I mean,
And she's
to be
she said
fair,
it
my
in a
smart
very
ass,
like snarky way, like a very sarcastic, like, you're in on the joke, right?
Go back to the second to last hearing where Lally lies about what she says. Hey, Rolling Stone. This is when she was upcharged. I love over on Lawn and Crim. She was clearly drunk.
My apologies, Your Honor.
That's okay.
No, they had told her she was up. They were upcharging her. They were holding her, and then
Thank you very much.
That's
And they
when
didn't
she said-
advise a lawyer.
Okay,
yeah.
cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Cross.
Oh, thank God. Take the rest of the day, Jackson. Let's
Sergeant
do it.
Dubnik, I want to start with one of the latter things that you discussed with Mr. Lally, and that's specific to the ring video that y'all talked about this morning. Do you have that in mind?
I do.
The search warrant that produced, and just so we're clear, I'm talking about the specific ring video or series of videos that were associated with One Meadows, John O'Keefe's home.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't write the search warrant for those ring videos, did you?
I did not.
You were not the affiant for those search warrants.
I was not.
Who was the author of the search warrant and the affiant?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor.
Who received the actual ring video or videos from the Ring Corporation?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor received it.
And who ultimately either logged those into evidence or controlled those once they were received from the Ring Corporation?
I believe it was Trooper Mike Proctor.
And ultimately, Sergeant Dubnik, you did note that in addition to just the physical videos themselves, that login information and login keystrokes, et cetera, were requested from the Ring Corporation as well, correct?
There was discussion with Ring asking for those logs.
I'll call it, is it correct to say an activity log?
That's what was requested, yes, activity log, yes.
So ultimately, the activity log would show who logs in, who accesses the data, things of that nature, correct? Or at least that was the hope.
That is what was requested.
All right. It would also show logging in and executing deletions, manipulating the log files, things of that nature, correct?
That is what was requested, yes.
When you reviewed those log or activity logs, there was no evidence revealed that my client ever logged into that account, correct?
There was no activity logs provided by Ring.
So you have zero, hang on.
Evidence. Zero evidence.
oh, please be snarky.
Please
Yeah.
be snarky.
Please have a log.
Please, like, oh, we were able to get these, and maybe just Ring
We have
doesn't
no
like you.
activity logs, but you're going to say that my client did this.
Isn't it true that Ring contacted Trooper Proctor and indicated that they had created a Dropbox folder that contained the evidence that had been sought in the search warrant?
Objection.
Sustained.
Oh, so he can't.
Isn't it true that the search warrant return specified account information, video recordings, and number 3, activity logs associated with video recordings are
It's
all times
almost-
displayed in UTC?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you recall that activity logs were in fact provided from the Ring Corporation?
I do not recall that, no.
Okay. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
Imagine that.
Oh. Dang it. If I would have gotten away with it if only for those facts.
Take a look, Sergeant, at that paragraph with my fingers on it, it's about the 3rd paragraph down the middle of the page, and review that to yourself and let me know when you're finished.
I so hope they have, because we know that they delayed some of the court orders because Ring told them we will delete everything after I think 30 days or something, and then they didn't. Ask for it till way after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, cross amnesia will set in right now.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Does this refresh your recollection as to the items received from the Ring Corporation?
That is the first time I saw that document, so it does not refresh my recollection. I simply read it.
So do you have a recollection as you sit here that in fact during the course of your investigation, the three items that you received from the Ring Corporation were the account information, the video recordings, and quote, activity logs associated with the video recordings, all times displayed in UTC?
To the extent of its availability, as it says in that document.
Okay. The long and short of it is, during the entire course of your investigation, you never revealed that investigation never revealed any evidence whatsoever that my client ever even accessed the account information for the Ring account associated with this search warrant, correct?
Nothing provided by Ring proved or suggested or proved any evidence of that type of activity, no.
So just say
Good.
no.
Trooper Proctor, you were notified.
Yep.
I am not Trooper Proctor.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. Sergeant Buchanan.
Sergeant Buchanan.
How do I say it?
Buchanan.
I'll give that a
Can't,
shot.
it's fine.
Buchanan?
Yes,
Is that better?
that's better. Thank you.
If I screw it up again, please.
Well, don't be a jerk about it.
On January 29th, you were notified about a Boston police officer found gravely injured outside the home of 34 Fairview at about 6:40 in the morning. Is that your testimony?
That is not.
What time were you notified?
I was not notified it was a Boston police officer.
So you didn't have that information upon the first notification?
I did not.
Okay, what information did you have?
There was a male party in the snowbank, possibly of a heart attack.
At what point did you learn that the individual was in
We'll
fact
call up
a
in a
sworn
second.
Boston police officer?
We're live now, Lynn.
I do not know exactly when I learned that he was a Boston police officer.
I think it was during that day or the following day?
It was most likely that day, either. Yeah.
Fair enough. Trooper Proctor was ultimately assigned as the, what did you call him? Not lead investigator, but case officer?
That's correct.
He was assigned on the 29th, correct?
He was on call from 7 a.m. on January 28th until 7 a.m. on January 29th.
So his assignment was, he was assigned on the 29th because he was on call.
He was on call. His assignment took effect when the schedule came out back in mid-December.
Okay. Well, he wouldn't be assigned to this investigation until there was a need for the investigation, right? And that's all I'm getting to. I mean, once the call came in, he was the assigned, basically.
Once the calls come in, the person that's on call is automatically assigned that case.
All right. Did you personally, as his supervisor, did you personally respond to 34 Fairview at any point on January 29th?
No, I did not.
Did Trooper Proctor, at your direction or on his own, ever respond to 34 Fairview Road at any time on January 29th?
No, he did not.
Based on your initial investigation, and I'm talking about going way back, Sergeant, on your initial investigation, by 10 or 10:30 in the morning, 10:40 in the morning, it was your belief that Mr. O'Keefe had been struck in the face by a person. That was your initial understanding of the circumstances surrounding the investigation, correct?
My initial understanding was that the defendant stated that she hit him. We did not know the...
Sergeant, you hadn't even met my client at that point. You hadn't interviewed a single witness by 10:41 in the morning, correct? Not one witness.
That's not correct. We had already interviewed the first responders.
Okay, when I say witness, I'm talking about civilian witnesses. So at 10:41, you hadn't interviewed a person at 34 Fairview or associated civilians associated with this incident, correct?
At that point, no civilians have been interviewed, no.
But at 10:41, Sergeant, you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital to inform them that, quote, Mr. O'Keefe was struck in the face with a cocktail glass, end quote, correct?
I do not recall contacting Good Samaritan Hospital.
May I approach?
Yes.
Oh,
Come on.
Round of
this is going to be as
applause.
good as we thought.
I know. I'm like, come on, Dayquil, stick with me just a little longer.
I'd like you to
Their first theory
take a
was
look at this
she
document,
struck him in
please.
the
If
face
you
with a
wouldn't mind,
cocktail glass.
pay special attention to the second page, the bottom paragraph where it's tabbed in pink.
Well, he exactly remembers that they absolutely didn't go to Fairview 34 that morning. But he didn't remember calling the hospital and say, yeah, he got slammed in the face with a cocktail glass. And again, thank you so much, Jackson, for making sure that Lally have to call Proctor. Because Proctor is the guy who got all the ring evidence. He's the guy who knows everything. He signed all the affidavits, not affidavits, all the search warrants.
Mm-hmm.
This is other ridiculousness that Buchachnik should be the guy trying to because Proctor's name is on everything. This is the opposite of Godfather, where you try to distance yourself from everything. Buchachnik is trying to do it, but you can't do it when the Don is standing right next to you in all the pictures. No impeachment will be incoming. Yeah, he's using these reading breaks really to think about, oh my, I have to take the blunt of this.
Yeah, like what he has to, how he can make this sound good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, impeachment is incoming with his prior statement. Sorry, I was thinking. What was I thinking? The one where you lied to the court.
Mm-hmm. I know. I hate him too, Becca.
He's such a nice guy. He used to wrestle as Victor Kozlov in the WWE.
Yes.
I hate these fucking people over on Rumble. They should really block that shit.
Having reviewed this, does this refresh your recollection that you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital and gave them an assessment, at least based on your investigation at that time?
That is not true.
What did you say to Good Samaritan Hospital?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital. That document is for the medical examiner's office.
I'm not asking you where the document is from. I'm asking you if the document says Trooper Yuri Buchanan called back at 10:41 stating the case is now being treated as a suspicion.
The objection sustained.
Did you call back to Good Samaritan Hospital and say that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious due to a domestic situation? Did you say that?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital.
Did you say that there's a possibility that D was struck in the face with a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Sustained.
Wait,
So
so
ever
the
contact
hospital's
anybody
lying?
So now the hospital's
any
lying?
medical facility and indicate that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious, in quotation marks, because the victim appeared to have been struck in the face by a cocktail glass.
Objection.
Allow that. Did you ever say that?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I did say that to the medical examiner's operations desk.
Okay, so when I was asking you,
Cufflinks are ineffectively designing catches on your suit coat sleeve. Plus, have you ever met a guy wearing them who wasn't a douche nugget? Yes, my brother-in-law wears them all the time, but I hate wearing them because your cuffs need to be so stiff.
if you ever sent it to Good Sam, you said, no, that's not true. That's never happened. You were correcting me on the fact that it happened at the medical examiner's office, not at Good Sam.
I responded and answered your question honestly, yes.
Okay, so honestly, you did, in fact, at 10:41 a.m., indicate to another professional involved in the investigation that the circumstance was being treated as a physical assault at that point, correct?
I communicated our suspicions to the medical examiner's office.
And that was at 10:41 or thereabouts in the morning, correct?
That's correct.
Your initial investigation during those obviously critical hours, the beginning hours, led you to believe that there was at least a good possibility. You indicated that you made a phone call, that it was a physical altercation that led to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
That's correct, yes.
What steps did you take, sir, in those moments, to determine whether someone in the house at 34 Fairview may have been involved in that physical altercation that you suspected at the time?
As investigations develop, we followed the evidence and statements made. The steps I took was Trooper Proctor and I proceeded to an eyewitness who was also present at the scene when the victim was discovered and interviewed Ms. McCabe.
And prior to that, prior to interviewing Ms. McCabe, by the way, that was at Ms. McCabe's home, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Even though you believe that there may have been a physical altercation, you didn't ask anybody to come down to the station. Is that right? Any of the witnesses?
That's correct.
And you did not seek to actually go to the physical location of 34 Fairview in those next few hours?
That's correct.
Or the next few days, correct?
Not myself, no.
Okay. As a matter of fact, Trooper Proctor did not either, did he?
No, he did not.
You didn't secure the interior of the house as a potential crime scene. You certainly know how to do that, right?
That's a compound question. Do you want me to answer whether I did it or whether I know how to do it?
Well, I'll ask the question. If you can answer it,
Ooh,
please answer it.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's
And
a
answer that
complicated
question.
question.
someone did
I
not
can
take
answer
my doll.
that question.
Why don't you answer both of them then?
First portion is we did not secure the home as a crime scene. And the second portion, yes, I do know how to do that.
And you didn't, as a Massachusetts State Police official, you didn't secure the outside as a crime scene either, did you?
I did not know.
To your knowledge, nobody else from Massachusetts State Police ever did either, did they?
Yes, they did.
How was that done and when?
When members of our office and the CERT team responded to that location and secured the front yard grass area and processed it.
For
That
those
was
2
at
hours?
5:45, 6 o'clock that night on the 29th?
I believe it was earlier, but I was not present, so I can't testify to the time.
So you don't know personally what they did to quote unquote secure or not secure the crime scene. You know they searched it, but in terms of securing it as a crime scene, you don't have personal knowledge to that.
I was not present.
You never took any photos of the interior of the house, correct?
I did not know.
You never caused CSSS to go inside the house and process that house as a potential crime scene, correct?
I did not know.
No forensic criminalist at your direction ever went into 34 Fairview?
No, they did not.
And the people that you interviewed on January 29th, you already mentioned Ms. McCabe. The other people were her husband, Matt McCabe, correct?
That's correct.
And her brother-in-law, Brian Albert. Is that right?
That is correct.
And all three of them were interviewed where?
They were interviewed at the McCabe residence.
Now, yesterday when you testified, did you indicate that Brian Albert was not present in the home when you interviewed Matt McCabe and Jennifer McCabe?
He was not present in the dining room when we were interviewing each individual separately.
So if all three of them testified that he arrived before you arrived, they would all be wrong.
I did not see him in the home when we arrived, no.
Never.
I want to switch gears real quick to a couple of the physical items that you testified about yesterday, specifically the gray shirt or the gray hoodie and the orange shirt. You and Trooper Proctor collected both of those items you indicated from the floor of the hospital at Good Samaritan, correct?
That's correct.
You testified that you and Trooper Proctor immediately bagged both of those items. They were sort of sopping wet, I think you said.
That's correct.
You indicated that the bags were so wet that you had to take the items back out of the bags and then lay them out on, I think you said, butcher paper. Is that right?
The items were soaked and wet. They were bagged, double bagged, to prevent leakage of physiological fluids and the moisture coming off of it. And then once they were transported to the office, they were laid out on butcher paper in order to dry naturally.
So you went from Good Samaritan directly to Dighton, correct?
That is correct.
And then you went from Dighton directly to the Canton Police Department, after which you had seized the vehicle, correct? And the phone.
We seized the phone in the vehicle in Dighton and then followed the tow truck straight to the Canton Police Department.
So at some point, if you had received or gathered the wet clothing at Good Sam, went from Good Sam to Dighton, Canton PD, at what point that evening did you finally get those items of clothing out and laid out to dry?
It was late that night, around 10 or so.
So where were the items in the meantime?
They were stored in the back passenger compartment of my pickup truck.
In those double bags.
Correct.
What?
Who took control of the items to then lay them out late that night at the office?
I do not recall.
Is that you or Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
At some point, obviously, it was getting late. You'd been on duty for a long time that day. You went home at some point, correct?
At some point, yes.
Did you wait for those clothes to dry before you went home, or did you leave that in Trooper Proctor's hands?
No, once they were laid out in the processing area in the office, we went home.
Okay. Who would have controlled those items of evidence when you left?
Well, they're under lock and key within the secure area of the district attorney's office, so they're secured. Nobody's in physical control watching guard over them.
Who had access to that area?
Troopers in our office.
Meaning you, obviously.
Yes.
Trooper Proctor as well, right?
Yes. Yes.
Ultimately, given the fact that he was the case officer, sort of in charge, he would have bagged those items up, been responsible for taking those items, tagging them, getting them stored wherever they needed to be stored and processed, correct?
As a case officer, he could direct other people to perform those tasks for him.
Did he do that? Or did he do the back
Evidence
packing?
officers in the office log in the evidence, and once it was dried, it was sealed up, bagged, and put into storage. As far as who actually performed those tasks, I do not know.
Well, yesterday, Your Honor, may I approach course, right? There's a couple of evidence.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's funny how people get dumb when Alan Jackson starts asking them. Not looking at the jury, not as oh, sorry.
This is not a vision contest. I'll bring these up to you in just a second, but just for familiarity's sake, do you recognize these two bags as bags that you brought to court with you yesterday?
They look familiar, yes.
Okay. This one has a 437 on it on my right. The one on my left has a 438 on it. May I approach it briefly?
Yes.
He's not at as easy as he was all day yesterday.
I'm not going to ask you to open those. Don't worry about flooding up at this point. The bag on your left, which one is that? 437 or 438?
The bag on my left is 437.
437. Okay. And you indicated that those items were bagged after the clothing was dried and then ultimately processed in, logged in, correct?
Once the items dried, they were bagged and logged in, waiting process. Yes.
But you didn't personally do that.
No, I did not. No.
Matter of fact, looking at the bag on your right, what's been marked as Exhibit 430, help me, 438, thank you. That one has some writing on it, correct?
Yes, it has a lot of handwriting on it, yes.
And that, whose handwriting is that?
I don't know.
You've seen Trooper Proctor's handwriting 1,000 times, I guess, correct?
Not 1,000 times, but
Does it look like his writing?
When he asked me to be his boyfriend,
it says Trooper Proctor on it,
circled
but other
or.
than that, I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting looks like.
It indicates that Trooper Proctor is the one that bagged that item or those items up, correct?
Yes, this bag indicates that the item was collected by Trooper Proctor on 129.
Right.
At 10.
And it says Brockton, correct?
Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, yes.
That was, you just took the question out of my mouth. That's where Good Samaritan Hospital is, correct?
That's correct.
And there's a tag or a printed label, looks like a label maker of some sort, that is on that physical bag, correct?
Yes.
Before we get to that, what's the description on that bag in handwriting?
I'm sorry, can you be specific as to description of what or?
Where it says description of items.
Description of enclosed evidence?
Correct.
It says 1 orange t-shirt, 1 gray long sleeve shirt.
Okay. So may I approach you on it?
Yes.
What?
Before I do that.
That's not what's in the evidence bag.
Yeah, why was the belt not mentioned? Or is that
No.
pants?
He has one bag with the orange shirt and one bag with the gray shirt. Why are they now in 2 bags when it says on the other bag that they are together?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hope none of the jury has to take Dayquil because I am confused. But I'm glad someone knows what's going on.
Zach, my percentage of female audience is roughly 70%. So they hate you and Dave. No, that's what the lady at the lab testified. They came in the same bag, but he showed them from 2 different bags yesterday because we talked about it yesterday, why they were in 2 bags. Don't think about it. When you don't think about it, all of it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
This is the dumbest thing to ever dumb.
Just so I close this loop, what's the description on the bag to your left, the one that looks like it's less sprinkled?
Number 437?
Yes, if you would read the same clothing description.
The description of enclosed evidence states sweatshirt with recovered items inside container.
Okay, may I approach now?
Yes.
Thank you. Yesterday when you opened, I'll keep my voice up. Yesterday when you opened these 2 bags, this one, 437, has the gray sweatshirt in it. 438 has the orange t-shirt in it now, correct?
That's what was in the bag, yes.
All right. However, the bag indicates at one point, this bag, 438, the physical bag I'm holding in my left hand, had both the sweatshirt and the t-shirt together, correct?
That's what the description is. I do not know if that was in case or in fact the case.
Well, it says so on the tin.
Well, you're allowed to guess.
The reason you don't know is because you're not the one that bagged Trooper Proctor did, correct?
The reason I don't know is I wasn't present during the separation of those items, and I did not observe it taking place, nor was I made aware of how the items were separated or when.
You are aware, however, that tag that's on the label maker looking tag, the white tag that's on that bag indicates that indicates a date of February 4th, correct?
You'd have to bring that back up. I'm
sorry.
I didn't take note of that.
God.
My fault. May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Just direct your attention to the tag and the date associated with that tag.
The label maker tag does have the date February 4th, 2022 on bag number exhibit 438.
May I approach?
Yes.
So that's 4 days later again.
Thank you, Sergeant.
5 days later. 6 days later. I'm not sure 2 lawyers would be on a jury. Normally, lawyers would be yeeted faster than a guy saying, I think she did it.
That's obviously 6 days after the item was actually recovered on the 29th, correct?
Yes, it is.
So that indicates, at least based on that tag, that that item was not booked into evidence and processed until 6 days after it was actually recovered on the floor at Good
It had
Samaritan
to dry
Hospital. Is
out
that right?
first.
The date indicates February 4th, 2022.
Right, and that date would be indicative, in your experience, of the date that is moved into processing by some other folks, the evidence sergeants or whomever, or the evidence officers rather, or whomever, correct?
I can't speak to their procedures as far as when they print the date. That date could be when they printed the label, but the bag might have been tagged otherwise. I do not know
No,
that.
no, no.
But there's no other tag on
No,
that bag
no.
that suggests an earlier date,
Wait,
correct?
wait.
He now
What the
claims
actual-
that it was already in evidence, but they didn't tag it till later. No, that's not how you do it. No matter how
Baker,
stupid you think we are, we're not that stupid.
have we forgotten it was snowing and the label maker couldn't work?
It was out
And
shoveling
they
snow.
all think administrative, duty is moving cars around, so no one got ink toner for the printer.
Mo always with the reasonable and clear explanations of how, if you don't think about it, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Mo on Dayquil, smarter
Well,
than ever.
Yeah, I'm having a trouble because the more he talks, the more they need Proctor.
Yep.
There's just that one tag from the label maker.
My question to you, if you know, sir, and you may not know, is what was happening to these items between January 29th, after you lost sight of them that night on the butcher paper, and February 4th, when that tag indicates that they were first processed?
To the best of my knowledge, those items were drying on the butcher paper.
For 6 days?
If that's what the label
It was
maker
a
says,
moist
yes, for
coal.
6 days. They were
Okay,
soaking wet.
sure.
It was soaking wet.
And those would have been certainly accessible to, and in the
He doesn't do
possession
laundry
of
very often, does he?
the lead case officer in the case, was Trooper Proctor, right?
Yes, if
Would you
Trooper
let him
Proctor
near your
needed to
wash
review those
machine?
items, he would have access to those items. Absolutely.
And you're also aware that the first actual log of any chain of custody for those items is March 14th, when they were finally submitted 6 weeks later to the crime lab.
That is not true. The first actual log of those items is when we collected them from the hospital.
Where's the log? I'm talking about the physical log, like sign in, sign out log. Where's the log?
It's documented in the reports saying that we collected them.
I know that there's a report. Anybody can write a report, right? I can write a report, doesn't mean anything. I'm asking for a log.
Objection.
So the objection sustained.
Bev, just give them
Obviously,
one
when
smart aleck
items
thing.
move in and out
Say
of
out
people's custody
it once.
in an official capacity for the Massachusetts State Police, there's a log of that, correct?
It's documented. Yes,
Or at least it should be, correct?
it's documented.
Where's the log
Where? Stupid.
of these items
Jesus.
before March 14th?
It's documented in the report.
There is
Yeah.
no log, is there, Sergeant?
I do not
Well,
know.
Now you're
Um,
asking questions. I don't know.
I want to talk a little bit about some searches that Mr. Lally asked you about, February 4th and February 10th, very specifically. Both of those searches you were involved with out at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
But Sergeant, you didn't personally write a report about your conduct at 34 Fairview on either of those 2 days. In other words, you didn't go back to the station and generate a report yourself.
I don't recall doing that now.
There were no photos that you took of the items at the location.
I did.
Those took photos, correct?
I did not take photos of the items.
Okay. And the first report that indicates anything that happened or was recovered at the location on either February 4th or February 10th, that was first notated in a report dated November 4th, 2023, year and a half, year and several months later, correct?
If you say so, I do not know the exact date. That report would have to be presented to me.
May I approach?
Yes.
Well, here it is.
Bev is like, God, stop making us look dumb.
You don't have to read the whole thing, but if you can
I don't understand. Why not
skip to
just
the
say,
part
yes,
that
you know he's
talks about
right.
the February 4th and February 10th searches.
That's their media expert. He's the guy who puts up the videos and stuff like that. Half day.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were finished already. What's the date of that? Well, let me ask a foundational question. Does that refresh your recollection as to the date of the report that actually talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches?
It does.
And what's the date of that report, sir?
This report is dated November 4th, 2023.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, as it relates to those two searches, I'd like to ask you a little bit about the February 4th search first. You indicated that you actually responded to 34 Fairview personally, correct?
I was responding to that location on my own. I personally responded, yes.
Okay.
Just say
That was because
Why
you
does he
had
sound
received information that
like
Chief
on the short
Berkowitz
bus?
had seen something or found something. Is that right? Chief Berkowitz from Canton PD.
That is not correct, no.
Okay. So when you got there, was Chief Berkowitz there?
Yes, he was.
You just happened to go by 34 Fairview at the exact same time on the exact same date as Chief Berkowitz, or was that coordinated in some way?
There was no coordination between me and Chief Berkowitz. As I testified, I had directed the troopers to go by the location. I planned to go by the location in the morning on the way to the office and in the afternoon on the way home, just to see if any more items would reveal themselves. So that morning, I was actually traveling to that location in order to conduct a view of the area to see if any more evidence had been revealed. Prior to my arrival, approximately while I was on Chapman Street, I received a call indicating that Chief Berkowitz was
Chapman Street is
at the
just
location.
cross
yes.
street.
And was there also an Officer Lank, Sergeant Lank?
I do not know if Sergeant Lank was there, no.
Okay. Chief Berkowitz certainly was there.
Yes,
And Chief Berkowitz indicated that as he was driving by, he saw a piece of glass
yes.
and stopped his car and then started making phone calls.
I believe that's what he indicated to the caller, yes.
Did you question Chief Berkowitz about why he was driving by the location in the first place?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You knew at that point that the Canton Police Department had been recused because of at least an appearance or potential for a conflict of interest, correct?
I knew they recused themselves due to only in respect to interviews. They didn't want to conduct interviews with us side by side.
I mean, if there's a conflict of interest, Sergeant, or department, conducting the interviews is just one aspect of an investigation, correct?
Yep.
I'm not going to speak like a conflict of interest, but yes, conducting an interview is just one aspect of the investigation, yes.
So is it your testimony that your understanding was they couldn't conduct interviews, but they could collect evidence, store evidence, write search warrants, get returns on search warrants, execute search warrants, conduct searches? They could do all that and not conduct interviews?
My understanding was they were recusing themselves from conducting interviews. They still allowed us to use their facilities. We utilized their conference room to conduct interviews. There was evidence being stored at their Sally port, being the vehicle. So that was my understanding.
Isn't it true that you knew that the entirety of the Canton Police Department had recused itself because of a familiarity between one of their members, Kevin Albert, and the Albert family on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found? That was the conflict, correct?
I knew that that was the connection between them, yes.
And you understood, sir, that that agency was to have nothing from an investigative standpoint, nothing to do with
He has a lawyer.
correct?
They were not conducting the investigation, no.
Matter of fact, Trooper Proctor and you supervising him, y'all were conducting the investigation, right?
Our office was conducting the investigation.
So did you find it unusual or suspicious in any way that the chief of police for the conflict?
Hey, Carol. You're back. missed you. You'll get one of these just because I know you love it.
I like turtles.
Always here with the facts.
Did
Thank you
Canton
for that
PD
fact, girl.
was the person driving by 34 Fairview looking for evidence?
Objection.
Can you answer that question, Sergeant?
He would have to repeat it. There's just so much I can't.
It was a little wording. I'll try it again. Did you find that suspicious?
I'll dumb
Which
it
part? You have to
down for
repeat the whole
you.
thing.
That Chief Berkowitz from the conflicted Canton PD was at 34 Fairview looking for evidence.
The way you posed the question, I did not find it suspicious at all. He's the chief of the police in the town where he works, and he's driving down the street.
And
I
on
mean,
sick leave.
that's not suspicious.
With a conflict of interest on the very case that he's driving by.
Objection.
No.
Sustained.
Why?
Why?
You certainly knew as a supervisor over the case officer that any involvement by Canton Police Department, given the fact that there's a potential conflict, any involvement by them could compromise your otherwise clean investigation. You knew that, right?
He doesn't know anything.
Not necessarily, no.
Did Chief
Maybe I don't
Berkowitz
know what.
disclose to you that morning on February 4th that he had been communicating with Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, two witnesses on your case that morning?
Objection.
Sustained.
If you knew information about communication between and among Canton PD and your witnesses, you would find that inappropriate, would you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
You returned to the scene on February 10th, is that right? To conduct another search, you said.
I was present on the 10th, yes.
Who dispatched you back to, or did anybody dispatch you back to that location on February 10th? How did you end up there is a better way to ask it.
February 10th, just like previous days, we made plans to go to the location in the morning, in the afternoon, drive by. I was on my way to work and to home. So I traveled that route on purpose. And as evidence revealed itself due to the natural melting of the snow, we would stop and collect the visible evidence.
You believe at this point, sir, that whatever you might collect at the scene would obviously be important, correct?
Anything we collected that had evidentiary value or presented itself as somehow related to the crime or the incident would be collected.
And it would be important to the investigation, right? You treat it as important.
It is a point, yes.
So my question is, was, especially as it relates to the February 10th search, where there were multiple items found, did you seek to have CSSS come out and actually either mark with GPS coordinates or measure with cross coordinates exactly where each item of evidence was found?
We did not do that. We had collected so much evidence already, and so much has been documented at that point
We worked
that
so
we did not
hard.
contact crime scene services to come back out and photograph more shards of glass and plastic. We simply collected it for processing.
So the location of each one of those items was not of that great importance to you, at least at that time?
It was of great importance as to the fact that it was located in the vicinity where the victim was found and in the vicinity of other items located of the same characteristic, shape, size, and color.
So that's my question. What does vicinity
In
mean?
the area.
Okay, what is area?
Well, some of the questions are a little bit leading and a little bit compact. So, but again, he's not asking questions. He's telling the jury that they should be aware of something.
It's a location, specific location.
Okay, are we talking about, we do this all day, I guess, are we talking about an area of 5 feet or an area of 50
Don't
feet?
have a smugly face.
Based on where the items were recovered, we're talking about an area approximately of 30 square feet between the roadway into the grass. It's the
We saw photographs, Sergeant, of items that were butted up against a fire hydrant, in one instance, correct? that yes?
That's correct, yes.
A drinking straw that's out in the road, correct?
That's correct.
Another shard of glass that's in the grass, closer to the flagpole, correct?
Correct.
A hat that's under the snow, adjacent to the left side of the flagpole, correct? I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was closer to the electrical
A 3 by
box,
10.
wasn't it?
No, the pictures documented where the hat was. It was to the right of the flagpole.
So these shards of glass, the point I'm asking is, did you seek to use basic cross?
Yes, you did. Evidence not stored correctly. They can't keep Proctor out of it, even though they tried. Apparently, everyone drives around looking for evidence, and they found all the evidence 6 days later when they went back. And then they went back again, and then they went back again, and then they found all the evidence.
Coordinates, measurements from something that you know is a known object, like for instance, I don't know, a flagpole or a fire hydrant. 27 inches to the north and a foot and a half to the south of those two known points. That would give you a cross coordinate, correct?
It would document the exact location, correct?
And you did not do that with any of these items, correct?
The items that were not photographed were not also GPS located, but they were within the same vicinity of where the other items were collected.
But again, now we're back to the same question. Your word for vicinity might be different than my word for vicinity, right?
Objection.
Sustain.
When you recover these items, or any other items, it's obviously important to memorialize on the evidence bag or in some other way exactly where they're found, who found them, the date, time, etc. Correct?
We do the best we can to document all known information on each evidence item bagged at the time.
And in terms of the February 10th search, I want to just ask you a couple of quick questions about that evidence bag. Did you bag the items into a single evidence bag that you found that day, or do you recall?
I would have to see the bag. If you have those available, I'll take a look. I can answer
With
them.
the court's permission, exhibit, I think it's 310 that was entered into evidence yesterday. I'd like to display that for us.
Okay.
You're looking at a photograph of what was previously entered into evidence as 310. Can you see that from where you're at? I don't have the evidence bag with me, so if you don't, I can certainly ask the space to enlarge it.
If you can enlarge it, please.
Just a portion of the right.
That's what
Runner, may I approach?
Yes.
I didn't realize I've got a photograph of it.
that says
Do you
210.
need the lights on,
That
Sergeant?
doesn't say
Please.
310.
Thank you.
Should make it easier.
Isn't it 210? You wouldn't have an upward O on the bottom of a 3.
21022.
Yeah, this is from the 3. It's the 310.
$6 pesos of plastic.
Sergeant, have you been able to familiarize yourself with that evidence bag?
With the photograph, yes.
Okay, thank you. Taking a look at that evidence bag, it has the information on it, has your name is collected by, correct?
Correct.
The date of collection is February 10th, is that right?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And it indicates multiple pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, right? It actually says 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, correct?
That's correct.
But that is not an evidence bag that's filled out by you.
I did not fill that bag out, no.
As a matter of fact, that's Trooper Proctor's handwriting.
I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting is. I cannot confirm that that's his handwriting.
But it's not your handwriting.
It is not my handwriting, no.
So
Oh,
What the actual hell?
so forged, huh?
are you aware that
Nope.
this particular bag, that bag that contained those 6 items of plastic material that you already deemed was incredibly important to the investigation was never booked into any evidence until March 14th, the date that it was submitted to the crime lab?
I was not aware of that, no.
Look at Turtle Boy's face. He loves it.
He put a tweet out saying, "Your face when all your reporting
If I may approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
is being validated."
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They just
Yeah,
scanned by him, and I was like, "Whoa, look at that
Oh.
face."
Mouth talker lady looks real
Did you
red
ever
too.
draft a report yourself documenting the recovery of those 6 items and the other 14 items that you said that you found on the same date, February 10th?
I did not, no.
Did you leave that assuming that Trooper Proctor would?
Because Bev is the arbiter of what comes in, and Bev says it goes in. Always, when you ask all these questions that in a normal case would probably raise some suspicions, remember, if you don't think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah, don't think about it, guys.
Yeah, here's Q clearance. He uses rubber stamps.
Document that.
He used to be a Marine. He
Objection.
can only write in
Sustained,
crayon.
ask it differently.
I'll ask it another way if I can. Did you believe that you didn't need to write a report, Sergeant, because Trooper Proctor would take care of that?
I knew that it would be documented. It was already documented on the actual bag as far as who collected it,
not by
when,
you.
where, what it was, and a report eventually would be authored on it.
But the where, for all these very intricate pieces, the where is left to 3430 on that, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
Thank you, Bev.
The general vicinity location of the other items collected and documented with photographs was consistent with the same locations this was collected.
Baker, can you pause it real quick?
Of course I can.
Okay, so that's like me saying, yes, I live in America, but my locality would be Indiana, but I lie and say it's Kentucky. I mean,
Yeah.
they're close neighbor states. Cut the bullshit, mister. Look, as a mom, you're not fooling anyone.
It
And
wasn't
stop.
the Roblers, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying the Roblers did not come in and forge his name. Proctor did, just like my youngest, most feral, will not convince me that ninjas came in and wrote his name in permanent marker on the wall. It was a frame up.
Gonna tell my girlfriend that. Don't think about it. Just let it go in. That's not what I say, Anime Rampe.
Oh my
said,
god!
Don't think about it, then it makes sense.
Don't say that.
Tracy Dane, chains of custody. You fought a war in 1961 to 64 to throw off the chains. So no chains is needed anymore in America. I should say.
I want to shift gears for just a second. Well, actually, I want to ask one final question about that item. Based on the documentation that you just mentioned, that it's documented on the bag, and if the bag is presented to the crime lab on on March 14th, some 5 weeks later, those items were completely unaccounted for from a log standpoint the entire time from when they were collected until they were booked at the crime lab, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. Ask it differently.
Possession of those items, of those 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Are you talking about the items that were just displayed on the screen?
I am, sir.
I did not.
Now I'd like to shift gears to a ring video that you saw yesterday. It's in Exhibit 6, video number 153. That may mean nothing to you. It's the 5:07 a.m. video of Ms. Reed's car pulling out of the One Meadows garage. Do you remember that video?
I do.
Okay. You indicated yesterday on questioning, under questioning by Mr. Lally, that Ms. Reed's car came in contact with or close to coming in contact with the other vehicle, the Traverse, in the video. Is that right?
What are you talking about?
The video, as I watched the video, I observed the vehicle come near Mr. O'Keefe's car.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. With the court permission, may we play that video?
Oh, he has a Marine
one
Corps
more time?
sticker. Be sure to show that to the jury.
Jason, you can pull that up, and then I'm going to ask you to pause it and get out of the way. Okay, can you just play that for a quick second, and then I'll ask you to pause it. Pause. Does that appear to be, I'm just pausing it in the first 2 or 3 seconds, does that appear to be the video that you saw yesterday?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay. Mr. Bates, if you could
I have been
enlarge
schooled.
the area around the the left rear tire of the Traverse. I'm going to ask you, sir, if you'll pay close attention to what's been zoomed, and when the SUV gets close to it, I'm going to pause it and ask you another question. You go ahead and play this.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this.
So why don't we pause the screen, take it down, and I'll see you at sidebar.
Because he's enlarging it.
like-
Yeah.
It's like,
that's a
damn
pinch
it, we
to
didn't
zoom
think
moment.
pinch to zoom.
That's a little. Yeah. Show it first, and then maybe you can get it in by saying, okay, now I'm gonna pay close attention to it. CJ, Lorraine, they probably did that in day 10 when they were sitting there thinking, what, if any, relevance does snow have in this case?
Right, Marissa? They can enter their videos, but ooh, don't zoom in.
Well, they have to show the video first, and then they can say, and now I'll zoom in. I would say that's a fair one, because that's another hocus pocus out of focus moment.
I mean, I can.
But yes, they showed it already yesterday, but I don't know if she's
Yeah.
allowed.
I'm going to try to situate myself when I'm out of the way. If we could have the lights dim, Your Honor.
Sure.
Go ahead and enlarge that the rear area.
Oh, they were loud.
I'm going to ask you to pay special attention to the back wheel and any movement that you may or may not see.
He's not going to see it.
Pause it.
He said pause it.
Okay. In about the next 3 seconds, Sergeant, I'm asking you to pay special attention to the wheel. Go ahead.
Nope, didn't touch it. Can't see that. I don't know.
And you can take that down. Sergeant, were you able to see that
Boom.
video? I know it's not the clearest thing in the world, but were you able to see that video okay?
Yes.
That
What
was
did you notice about the
damn.
rear wheel of the Traverse?
Based on the motion in the shot with the snow falling, it appears that there is movement, but the video speaks for itself.
Yeah.
What would you assess?
Yeah.
That's not
based
the
on-
Oh my
video you want
God.
to use there.
This is police not talking to the defense gobbledygook based on the snow and where the solar constellation compared to the moon's position according to
Was Mercury
Aquarius.
in retrograde? Because I think that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mo got it exactly right. It could be the Earth shaking because of Mercury.
I did attempt a burpee that day, so that could have been me too.
This is so stupid. Why not just say, yeah, to me it seems like it, but the video, it's up to the jury.
Oh, friggin' stupid cops. I swear.
Of the Traverse about whether or not the two vehicles came in contact with one another.
Objection.
Sustained.
Okay.
Well, the movement wasn't movement then.
I have just a moment, Your Honor. Yes.
Of course they could, but they chose to not do it because that was be annoying for them.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all? Come on, come on. I need more. Give me more. I need some more. And just checking. He hit all.
Yes. I'm trying to use my time wisely, Your Honor. Yesterday, Sergeant, you were asked about a couple of videos related to the Sallyport garage.
Please.
Do you have that in mind?
Come on.
Yes.
Matter of fact, we watched one of them pretty specifically toward the end of the day yesterday. Did you actually, I want to talk about the one that is the clearer of the two where you slip. You remember that one?
If you pull it up, I can.
I will in just a second.
Okay.
There was one where Mr. Alley paused it and you were slipping in front of the vehicle.
Gotta bring it up.
I don't recall myself slipping, no, but it was icy that day. So if there's documentation of me slipping,
Yes, the snow was
Fair
nipple
enough.
deep.
I didn't mean
Oh my
anything
God,
by that
guy.
other than that was a moment that I thought you might recall to differentiate the videos.
Do you
It's
remember when you
exhibit
danced
446,
to
but I
It's
don't think
Raining
that's
Men at a wedding?
Oh my
Let's,
God, can we
let's
put
see if
that
I can
in
do this
just for
another way.
funsies?
Did you actually personally go to Canton PD to retrieve any or all of the videos of the Sallyport? You yourself?
I did go to Canton and collect already extracted video,
Okay.
but it was a portion of video surveillance. I didn't collect all of the video, so
When was the most recent
do
time
that.
that you went to Canton to collect a portion of the video?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Did you review well, let me ask it this way. Did you collect a video that was sought on or about April 23rd, April 24th this year? Meaning just a few weeks ago.
Did I collect it?
Correct.
I did not collect that video of April this year, no.
Or you're aware that the video that you saw yesterday was in fact collected after the trial started in April of 2024?
Objection.
Sustained.
Are you aware of when that video that we saw yesterday was collected?
Objection.
Why?
Oh,
I am not aware.
Okay. Was yesterday the first time you'd seen that video?
No,
When had you seen that video previously?
a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. What were the circumstances in which you saw that video?
Objection.
sustained.
Did you have a meeting with the DA?
Objection.
Sustained.
Why?
Did you ever have any kind of communication with Mr. Lally about your testimony?
Objection.
Sustained.
May we approach?
Yes.
Why can't they ask if he had connection? Talk to the DA's office. They all asked other witness about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That seems weird.
Swear to God. Where's David harassing people to answer these questions for us?
Well, didn't send him a link, so
Get Dave some Prosecco. We are getting answers.
He'll call that court.
yeah, that's Oh, he's here. Can you answer the question? Why?
What are these objections? What do they mean, David? I need you to tell me. It drives me crazy.
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant, did you have any meetings or communications with Mr. Lally in anticipation of your testimony?
Yes.
When was that?
It was about 2 weeks ago, and then last week, I believe.
And what was discussed? Generally.
Generally, we discussed the portions of the case that I would be presenting.
Did you write a report about your communications with Mr. Lally?
No, I did not.
Were you shown any of the videos that you've seen here in anticipation of your testimony?
Oh, don't think so much.
Not during the first meeting. I did review a video during the second time.
Okay, and that video was that you did see the second time was the interior video of the Sally Port that we saw yesterday, correct?
I'm just trying to remember exactly what
No,
video
you're trying to think really
I
hard
had
where he's
reviewed
going to get them.
videos outside
Yep.
of our meeting, so I don't
That's-
remember exactly what video Mr. Lally showed me.
But
Not
you do
fooling
recall
anyone,
seeing the
dude.
video you saw yesterday, the sort of clear one that has the crime scene tape being put up and all that. You have seen that one before,
Yes,
and that was with Mr. Lally, correct?
that is not correct because I do not recall when I saw that video or what video I saw with Mr. Lally.
I see. All right.
It could be.
I'd like to talk about that exhibit 446 for a second, and then I'll show it to you. You indicated that the video that all the videos, everything that you saw yesterday was true and accurate, correct? Based on your memory of the events that were memorialized in the video?
The video captures events taking place in accurate fashion, yes.
In an accurate fashion. All right, that's what I wanted to find out. And after you watched the video, I think you were asked by Mr. Lally, does the video show you or Trooper Proctor having access to or messing with in any way that right rear tail light in any fashion? And you said, never.
I was asked if at any point Trooper Proctor and I had came into contact, I believe, or touched the vehicle and that portion of the vehicle, and I said never. We never touched the vehicle.
They can't bring it up, but they can ask, but they can't say that they got this evidence from a federal investigation.
Prior to it being properly processed with a search warrant.
And that was specifically his question was to, and your answer was to the right rear portion of the vehicle, right? That right rear tail light.
The right rear damaged taillight, correct.
With the court's permission, I'd like to play
Oh, this
a
is going to be
portion
good.
of.
This is going to be one of those
Okay.
WTF moments for the jury if they hadn't seen this. We're going to full screen that.
Before we begin playing it, Mr. Bates, if you wouldn't mind, may I inquire, Your Honor, of the witness, just to lay a foundation? Sergeant, do you recognize this as being the video that we saw yesterday?
It does look accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. This is 446, just so you have it in mind if I reference that.
Carol, no, it's not.
And I think it's runtime 120.
What is Carol talking about now? It's not-
She's on the I don't like turtles train.
Oh, yeah.
Pause it. Do you recognize that as the video we saw yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Very briefly, if you could move to time of day, 5:37:05.
Why are they playing it in reverse?
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, it's to find out right place.
Court's permission, can we play at this point?
Yes.
All right, that shows the vehicle coming into the Sally Port, and we're looking at which side of the vehicle?
So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. What that video depicts is a mirror collection. Although mirrors are accurate representation of what you're seeing, it's just inverted. So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. I do not know why it is inverted, but that's the way it was presented, collected and presented from Canton Police.
Can you see a timestamp or a time and date stamp on the bottom of that? It's in blue.
I cannot know.
Imagine that.
Does it appear that time and date stamp, if you can't read every letter on it, that is in correct order? In other words, that's not inverted.
I cannot read it, no.
All right, let's go and play this for a second.
And no, we can't see it because of the line on the law.
Who is that just got out of the car?
I do not know. I think that's the tow truck driver. He would have the only access to the vehicle. We did not touch the vehicle.
Who's that on the left?
I missed that. I was looking down at the laser pointer. I do not know. I know for a fact I'm the gentleman that's wearing a dark olive drab state police baseball style hat, and Trooper Mike Proctor is wearing a winter hat.
Trooper Proctor's wearing what?
A winter hat.
He's wearing a toboggan.
I didn't realize it was playing while you were talking. Stop. And stop. Yesterday, when you testified, you indicated that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct? That is
Not correct. There was two individuals in the rear of the vehicle I shined my light to. That was me and Trooper Proctor.
You see Trooper Proctor toward the back of the rear of the vehicle there?
I can't tell because of what the head is. I just know that Trooper Proctor was wearing a black hat.
Which the person in that, in the video to the left, to the rear of the car is wearing a black hat, correct?
I can't tell. I don't want to be locked into a statement where later on you show me that it's somebody else magically. I can't testify to that.
No
Magically strike
testimony.
that.
I'm just asking you what you see.
I don't see that. No.
Let's go ahead and play it this way. You see the person toward the back of the vehicle walking toward the opposite side of the SUV?
I do.
What area does he appear to be going to?
It appears to be going towards the rear passenger side of the vehicle, although it does not appear so because the video is inverted, a mirror image. That's where he's going.
And Sergeant
Oh,
Buchanan,
focus,
you
focus,
testified
out of it.
for at least a half an hour about this video yesterday, correct?
I'm sorry, it was a long day. I don't know the timing of how long I testified.
You significantly testified about this video yesterday, did you not?
I testified about this video.
And you testified that it was true and accurate, correct?
Correct.
You testified that it was reflective of your observations of what was happening in that Sally Port that evening, correct?
I testified that this is a accurate
Just say yes.
scene and collection of video evidence from the Sally Port.
And as that truck sits in that Sally Port, just like this, it appears from all perspectives that what we're looking at is the passenger side of the car, and that right rear taillight is right there shining in our face, correct? From this perspective.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
From this perspective, from the perspective that the
Oh my
jurors are
God, is he
looking
going
at,
theater edge
from
bone?
all indications, that would appear to be the right side of the truck, the passenger side of the truck, and that taillight that you can see is the right rear taillight from this perspective, correct?
Yes.
The way it presents itself, yes.
And yesterday, during the entirety of your questioning, by Mr. Lau. Not once did you mention that this video is actually completely inverted,
I
correct?
did not know.
Mr. Lally didn't ask you if it was inverted, correct?
That's correct.
And if I hadn't gotten up here and begun questioning you, that would be left uncorrected, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
The person with the winter cap appears to walk directly to the what ultimately should be the right rear tail light of this car, correct?
Yes.
That's the vicinity, yes. That's where he is. Yeah.
Why is he standing over there so long? He had no access to it. We didn't see anything. Nothing happened.
I'd like you to pay attention to the right rear of this car. And I know we're completely backward, but it's the far corner of the car. Do you see a person's head there?
That's embiggen.
It appears as if someone's still there.
And that person is located at or near what portion of the car?
In real life or as it's depicted?
Is the person near in real life, near the right rear tail light of the car?
Yes.
Matter of fact, standing there, hovering around there, correct?
We don't know the distance that they are in proximity to the actual vehicle. We just know that they're behind the vehicle. That
Looks like it's pretty close, doesn't it, Sergeant?
Objection.
Yes.
Sustained.
Does that look like he's in close proximity to the right rear tail light?
as I said, I can't tell how far away he is from the vehicle.
Ted's right there, sir. You can't tell that he's right next to the right rear tail light?
Go back to the beginning of the stream. I showed it uninverted.
Objection.
Sustained.
I want you to pay attention to what that person does as soon as the other person comes out from behind that car. So you see him move. Stop it. You see that person move?
I saw movement in the frame, yes.
Right when the other person is in eyesight of the person toward the right rear, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained. No commenting, Mr. Jackson. We've talked about that.
I'm going to ask Mr. Bates to back it up.
Who's
There's
this guy?
One other issue I want you to pay attention to, if you can, right at this moment or right before this moment, and that is the timestamp. You back it up maybe 10 seconds. Right about there. Don't play it yet. Instead of paying attention to the individuals, I'm going to ask you, can you see, may I approach the screen here? Yes. Can you see the timestamp at 5:37 and 37 seconds p.m.? Can you see that from where you're at?
No, I cannot.
Me neither. But I don't walk up to it.
Embiggen it, because we can't
Let's
see it.
play
It
for
was a
about
phone
10
and screen.
seconds.
Well, we can see it, but it's really small.
Pause it. Did you see another person just appear toward the rear end of the car?
There was a fog of some sorts. It did appear as if a person was actually in. There was two people back there, and two people walked away, or one person walked away.
Timestamp jumped to 5:38:01. Correct?
I cannot see the timestamp, sir.
Did it appear that there was an anomaly? There was a portion of that video that was deleted. It's missing, not deleted, but just missing.
Objection.
Can you tell that? Does it appear that way to you, Sergeant?
No, Your Honor, I cannot tell what is happening with the video.
If you take a close look at there's a classic police car in that Sally Port, correct?
There's an antique vehicle there, yes.
If you take a close look at the trunk of that vehicle, see the word police?
Yes, I believe I can read that, yes.
And it's backward,
It is mirrored, correct.
That's a good indication that this is an inverted video, right?
It appears that way, yes.
And if we were to fast forward at 5:42, about another 20 seconds. There you go.
I don't know how
Just
she
play at
wants
this
it.
point. Oh. You take one pause. Pause it. You see the Sallyport garage came down?
Yes,
You see a number on the garage?
I do.
Is that correct?
What
If
is
you're
correct?
dyslexic.
Does the number appear correct? How do you make it 4?
No, the number's in the mirror
Jesus.
image, yes.
I just wanted to make the point. Everything in this video is completely back, correct?
It's not backwards, it's mirrored, reversed. You can look yourself in the mirror in the morning, you still see your own face. It's not backwards.
How unfortunate for you,
But my mirror image is not
Budnick.
an accurate depiction of who I am. My actual physical appearance is who I am, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
A mirror image, Sergeant, is not an accurate video of this, is it?
Objection.
It's a mirror image by definition.
Sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Your Honor, thank you. I don't think so. I would like to mark I have a, we can bring the lights up.
I love Alan
Wait.
Jackson. Of course the jury hears. That's why he keeps talking.
Mhm.
I have a thumb drive that I'd like to have marked with the court's permission.
That's Del Brooks and the Orange. I'm sure.
Does
of it.
Mr. Lally know what's on this thumb drive without you telling us?
I do not.
Mr. Lally
Okay.
know everything or anything.
We can approach and I can certainly bring it out.
We're trying to wrap up our morning.
Yeah, you're
It's
trying to
marked
wrap
for
up your morning. You
identification.
didn't say anything to.
I'd like to play the first 10 seconds of that video.
No. We'll come to saga. It's marked for
Oh my God.
identification, right, Mr.
Why
Jackson?
the hell are they not allowed to play again? The
Lally asked him if, like, what his favorite color was and his star sign, and if he likes long watch on the beach. I mean,
Yeah.
what?
the timestamps was just that they
I'm
jumped.
trying to wrap up our morning.
Yeah,
Go
because
F yourself.
16 minutes
Okay.
till we end today, and she let Alan Jackson. She let Lally spend 2 hours talking about absolutely nothing, showing pictures of glass that there's no way to put anywhere on a map.
Yeah.
I made a joke when I said Marissa should make it a map of all the evidence, because we heard from the first search all the evidence was within
A
this
foot.
area, shoe and all of a sudden it's over a 30 square feet area. And he's going to show a video the defense hasn't seen, so she'll probably ask about that. But if it's hey Fiery Red, how are you doing? Mirroring
hope
does
you're
not
doing
make it
okay.
inaccurate, but it does make it misleading. Yes, so it's not an accurate depiction of what was seen that day, because it was the total opposite of it.
Yeah. And the people, if it was the other way, we would see what all the people are doing on that side of the car.
No, we wouldn't, because the focus would be the same. The car would just be clearly shown to not be giving an indication that
Oh,
it
yeah,
wasn't. They wasn't standing on the left side of the car, when in reality they were standing on the right side.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know. And that's everyone who is sitting here with us. We discussed this. We we can clearly see all the shenanigans because we watch on Twitter, we watch us talking, we discuss everything else. She did have a boob job. I don't care what Marissa says. But the jury, do they see that? We've seen so many cases where we thought this is a clear-cut case of not guilty, and they still find it. Grant has an RO because he threw a chair outside of the court, so he's not allowed as long as the lady from what's the name? Not Fiery Red podcast from Mercado. What's the name of her show? Jess Machado. He threw a chair, and that's what got him kicked out.
So he went Bob Knight on it.
Yeah. Jessica Mercado, Fall River reporter. Exactly, Steve. Thank you. Follow her on Twitter. She has good updates. But they got into a chair war.
Jurors, I know that you want to know when this case is going to end, and I don't mean that in any negative. After speaking with the lawyers, I can safely say that you will get this case for your deliberations sometime the last week in June.
Last week of June.
We'll know better next week. We will not be in session next Tuesday. We will go full days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. We will not be in session next Tuesday. I have to give you those cautions again. Please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent
Outside
research
on
or
the
investigation into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard it and let us know. Great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
All right, for the jury, please, jurors.
You are muted.
Bev sucks.
If so.
Bev sucks.
But I love that Bukaknik was ready for this mirror question. Absolutely didn't talk yesterday about what he should.
All right, so I received a motion from the Commonwealth this morning that I have not had an opportunity to read yet. It's on my desk. I'd like to go spend a few minutes looking at that and come back out at 12 o'clock on that.
In order for us to argue it?
Yes.
Oh.
Do you need?
I don't get it either.
Okay.
We've been busy.
All right.
Could we do it on Monday?
I want to get as much evidence in as we can each day. We can do it
Yeah,
at
then tell
8:30
Lally
Monday
to
morning,
get
I
a
think.
Stop
move on.
Madam-
having half
Madam
days.
Court Reporter, can we do it at 8:30? Jim?
Absolutely fine with us. Not that it matters.
Can we do it at 8:30 Monday morning?
If that's what the court wants, yes.
Yeah, we'll have a hearing on it at 8:30 Monday. Are you around tomorrow? Are you around tomorrow?
Half day.
Oh, am I? Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to do it tomorrow morning?
If I had a preference, I would say Monday.
All right, we'll do Monday morning at
He's going home
8:30.
drinking.
I'm sorry. Well, Monday. Okay, great.
And if you want to put something in writing, just email it to us this weekend.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you then.
I want to know what the motion is. What is the motion?
Marissa, can you go see if you can find out what the motion is?
What
Sweet
did the
Marissa.
Commonwealth do? I need to know.
Hey there, Karen Reed.
Hey there, Mr. I am a little bit too excited to cover a murder trial.
Oh my God, I've missed that voice.
Yeah, I mean, he is Knuff. Sir, you are Knuff. You don't need makeup. And Tanner.
No, the defense didn't have the motion, but yeah. They end when Bev decides the defense is whipping the witnesses with that BS. Well, she did say only till 12 o'clock today, and that's 9 minutes from now. So it's. But again, why is she never telling Lally, get the F on, you stupid. You can adjust camera for no mirroring. It's adjustable. No one can tell me that that camera is always mirroring, especially because the timestamp in the button isn't reversed.
Mm-hmm.
I need a cowboy hat for that accent. I was almost buying a cowboy hat when I was in Los Estados Unidos, but luckily I didn't because it wouldn't have fitted into my suitcase on the way back. Probably Anima. Your phone camera is adjustable. My camera right here, I can show you magic because I can do the same thing. Look at my hand. I'm now raising my one hand. I can't figure out what you see on screen. Now I lift my other hand. Oh, look, magic. But you don't do that on a surveillance camera. You have your surveillance camera showing you, so you don't get confused when you get an alert saying a window was broken. Is it the right or the left window? You would just have it streaming what it sees. Tell me why did you flip the cam? Tell me why.
I don't know.
Is it to hide the shame? Tell me why. Bukkake at the tail light. Tell me why. Cracking off pieces when the 10 seconds missing. Tell me why. Does it look good for the jury that you didn't mention it before?
Yeah.
Exactly. They were trying to gaslight because, again, what we believe we saw, and we talked about it in the beginning of today. A lot of people came in later because we started a little bit early. When we saw it yesterday, because your mind is just making up, you will try to fit anything into what you perceive as reality. I said it on stream yesterday. No, someone was. There were two people in the car. Someone got out on the driver's side. Because that's what you normally think, and your brain is funny because I'm on Twitter. I'm trying sometimes to be on Discord while I'm stream. I have the stream running. I have you sitting out there, and I'm watching the chat. So my mind is 45 places. So it just slots in everything as it thinks it sees it. So it didn't see a British SUV. It saw a normal SUV with a guy on the passenger seat. It wasn't until I opened up Twitter this morning and said, I was duped. The jury was duped as well. They didn't notice no one got out on the other side. And luckily for them, because it's flipped, then when Proctor stood by the right tail light, it looked like he was at the left tail light. And when he was testifying yesterday that he wasn't by that tail light, he was absolutely not lying at all. That was a wink, Jamie. That means I wasn't sincere.
Got it.
But I'm gonna mirror my my camera and send you a wink back when I figure out how to do that.
I just found out that bukkake means what bukkake meant during the trial. Apparently, some women will do anything to just get through college. Bless their hearts.
Yep.
Young scholars.
Yeah, Brandon left me alone, so we didn't save any young women from college when I was in the US.
Oh, dang it.
It's really unfortunate.
You have to do better, Brandon. I think he's working today. I just saw him for a second in the beginning. It's weird that they're using the security footage and all the resolution is blurry. Why not just use pictures from a camera? Well, this is to show no one tampered with the evidence while it was at the Sally port, because as you can clearly see, that tail light was covered by the camera. If you just mirror the camera, so it looks okay. I can flip and mirror my camera too. For example, the one in the chicken coop is upside down, so it's not that weird. It's recorded that way, but it was awfully convenient to not point that out. Yes, it's. I think that's what the kids call a coinkydink.
Yes.
What did Lally motion to end this trial? I'm really, yeah. What motions can he file now to?
I want to know.
Yeah, I can't imagine. He's like, look, we're quitting in shame.
Yeah, it's been fun, but I have to go to Mexico with Chloe and Mr. Gutierrez.
Yep.
I should have it on the same line. That would be better. Let me do that again.
Wait, what kind of trickery internet wizardry is this?
This is because Danes are superior. We can do that.
Well, I mean, you have figured out how to use a mirror. I was honestly quite shocked that the officer was able to figure that out.
Is this correct now?
Yes, it is. But I'm also dyslexic, so it's always been correct.
I had to remember I have to switch the letters around as well.
Hocus pocus.
Rat rum, rat rum, rat rum.
Oh my God.
Is it sad that I get a little special thrill that Stephen King was so pissed off about how Kubrick did that? Especially for a guy who wrote that scene in It that we all know about, but ew.
I didn't get it the first time because I'm not a native English speaker, so I didn't get rat rum, rat rum. I was like, that's a
I
weird
guess
one.
you were like, where's the umlaut and the zero with the X in it?
All the weird letters, the squiggly ones.
Yeah.
Also, boo cocky, a Lexus with teeth, pig DNA, and stubborn white stuff on the Lexus. No connections. Absolutely nothing. Why does Mo sound that way? She had a date night yesterday, and as you might have seen during the stream today, I contributed to the triplets diaper fund.
I have the man cold. I finally got it. You guys just take care of birthing. We will take this weight and responsibility off of you. It's terrible.
Watchers on crime legal alert.
The bukkake scene in the book. I just saw Mr. King once in person. He's just as creepy as he looks on social media. Yeah, he's a massive cook. Used to be a massive coke fiend.
Used to be, is, I mean, allegedly in Minecraft.
My friends was there. That man bumped into the female that... What? Oh, Carol. Oh, I forgot. Love you. You get a special little show.
I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles.
3 times the turtles, because
Ooh,
all
so
you turtle haters are really
her-
crazy. That you want to have a woman go to prison without looking on any of the evidence just because you don't like Aiden Kearney. That's a sign of people who really should. I would, Mo, what hobby would
Yes.
you recommend for people who spend way too much time on hating people on the internet, and because they hate people on the internet, they hate everyone else on the internet? and go around and yell too much at people?
Well, as I am a creator, I would say make your own channel. But if you would like to invest time in drama, God bless you. You must. Do you want some chores? Because we do chores for pot stirrers around here, and narcs. Look, don't come tattling to me about anything. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if that's your jam, that's your jam. But I'm not that person, so drama exhausts me. And I only have one enemy, and that is Kevin Spacey, and we have made that quite clear.
It's yeah, I love trolls.
Well,
Trolls
it's
is
stupid. It's stupid
is
to, like you said, base all of this off of some other situation that has nothing to do with what we are seeing right before our eyes.
I mean, let's be honest, Turtle Boy is maybe a little more aggressive than I would ever be.
yeah.
But sometimes for investigative journalists, you need to have that kind of personality.
And he's brought a lot of things to light, so you have to commend him a little bit.
Yeah, and again, this case isn't about Turtle Boy. He has his own case. Dave has been covering that. You can follow it over there. This case is about Karen Reed. For those trolls out there who thinks everything's about Turtle Boy because their life apparently evolves around an online blogger. This case is about a woman who allegedly hit her boyfriend with a car that Lally now for 21 days have tried to prove, not successfully in my opinion. And if I look at the poll I did, what do my people think? It's so far behind. Can I see it on the other one? After 20 days, have the state changed your mind? Nope, still not guilty, 82%. Yes, I now think she's innocent, 11%. Yes, I now think she's guilty, 3%. And no, still guilty, 2%. So Lanny hasn't proven anything yet. This case is about Karen Reed and John O'Keefe. All of you people who want this case to be about Aidan Kearney should go jump in a lake, cool down, and then come back tomorrow. No, because tomorrow is no court day. We'll probably find something else to talk about. Come back Monday, 8:30, when they're having their motion hearing. And then we're going to talk about Karen Reed, John O'Keefe, why Lally flipped the camera, put that into evidence, had a guy certified and saying, yes, this is a true and accurate representation, which it isn't because it's mirrored. Why Lally isn't interested in bringing the lead investigator into this case. Why Lally spent 20 days before he put anyone who had anything to do with the investigation on the stand. Why he spent 19 days before he presented one technical piece of evidence. Why he spent 19 days discussing children, shoe sizes, snow, how the procedure is when you're called out in the middle of a snowstorm, which is the worst in the history, even though he also presented evidence that it wasn't really snowing that hard that morning. And then we talk about that. And then the next time Aidan Kearney is going to trial, and if I have time to cover it, you come back and tell me Turtle Boy is not made of Teflon and he's going away. I don't give a flying F-U-C-K about Turtle Boy right now. He's doing a lot of work. You can follow him on his own channel. You can follow him on Twitter. You can go there and tell him he's an idiot.
Hired?
What?
Yeah,
Sorry?
I just read. You have to read what Carol put. She deleted it, but I was laughing really hard at that one.
This one, because she can't delete it on StreamYard.
Yeah, I know. That's why I knew it would be there.
So again, Carol, go find yourself a hobby. You now have 3 days till the court starts again. Mo, show her your cross stitch. It might be something she should pick up.
I've got the one finished. So 1 second.
That's because you are late and French. This is an insult to the Jewish, yes.
Oh, it
So
is.
this is the last one I just finished. For Pride Month, the lesbians of Sailor Moon.
That's nice. You should send that to Flux.
Isn't that pretty?
I am going to. Since
Did I
I'm her
spoil it?
adopted mom, it's her wedding gift that I forgot about their wedding.
Well, adopted moms sometimes don't treat their children the best.
Well, she told me I couldn't bedazzle everything for June, and I was very sad.
What?
Okay.
The turd
I
in
am
the
okay.
jury was
Oh,
hired by the defense to provide misinformation to chat
well,
rooms.
awesome.
Lord
This
have
is
mercy.
great. I am not on enough NyQuil to equation out that, so I will try to absorb that and think about it tomorrow.
If you see Baker, this is a good Christian channel. That's why I spelled it to preserve the small ears. The third in the jury, Carol. Again, you haven't watched this trial. I can clearly tell. Turtle Boy is in the press box. He's not a member of the jury. Get the basics correct. And again, if you have to go down and start name calling, it's because you don't really have any other criticism. I can't criticize Doink. That's why I call him Doink, because he's the smartest person I know. So I have to resort to name calling. You apparently is hit really hard by I don't know if it's stupidity or just I don't know. Probably spend the weekend, get some fresh air, come back when you want to discuss Karen Reed's case, and don't come with the she admitted it on camera. No, she didn't. Go back and listen to it without all your biases that you read online for all the people who don't like Turtle Boy. It's getting irritating to have to argue with stupid people. Jamie knows that all too well because she argues with me all day. But in reality, at this point of the trial, if you're still more interested in what Turtle Boy said, did, or nothing, you should really get yourself a hobby. Cross stitch is a thing. Raise birds like Jamie. Or I have baking videos. It's really good for the soul to bake. To the rest of you, I'm sorry. I'd go on rant sometimes. Maybe.
I just don't understand why you're not looking at this. You want to argue these points and then not look at the actual evidence presented in trial.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't even seen the Nightline video she keeps talking about over and over again. So when we see it, we can determine.
Yeah. Jamie, is this a good idea?
What? Cross. No.
What is this?
I'm still mirrored.
Yes.
Not on my
Okay, but
screen.
what proximity are you to the right side of the left mirror hand? Like, do you know? Are we gonna have to get some GPS
I am
people
mirrored.
out?
What the hell did I do now? Yes. I was sitting here and my brain was not working correctly because my hand looked wrong. And it was because it was wrong. This is why this is the best channel. Well, I'd go on rant sometimes. Cooking video tomorrow. I need to see if you can take real measurements. Well, I don't really have I don't have the ingredients because I need some pineapple, not in sugar thingy-ma-thing, but in juice. And I'm looking for it. If I can find it, I will try and make that pineapple upside down cake, or I have another recipe I might use. I need to make that pineapple upside down cake with the maraschino cherries. It's just really hard to do on a video because it'll take a long time. It needs 45 minutes in the oven before it's done. And I can't talk for 45 minutes, and it's never happened. You so if missed it all, we'll have to watch later after work. Why can't work understand? I need to watch cross. We have a rule on this channel that you can just get work to call me, and I say we have an appointment. I have a press pass. Let's just say you have an interview, and I don't know how payment. They'll have to figure that out. Just say it's really important. Yeah, chat is the best part of watching things. we have court again Monday, 8:30.
8:30.
I sent you 2 cookbooks. You don't have ingredients for any of them. I haven't read all of them. No, but I promised Food Fairy I'll try to use her maraschino cherries. I will because now it's only 6 o'clock, so I have time to do some studying tonight. Other than that, nothing else going on but the rent.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
So let's do this.
Hey guys, it's Mo. We will see about tomorrow with Mornings with Mo. Definitely not tonight. I'm going to see if my voice will regenerate. But thanks for letting me join. And this has been a really interesting trial because I didn't really know anything about this case until I started watching.
Oh, hi. What a day. All right. Well, happy weekend, everybody, since we won't be really doing anything trial-wise. So see you on Monday.
I can't find the button. Yeah, this this was a weird day. Let's just face it. But they got some good licks in the end. I thought Lally would try to keep it going, so he had all weekend to prepare Bukakni. They clearly got on him, told him they will ask about the mirrored video, and he just even if it's mirrored and you can look on your face and the back of the hand is the same as the front of the hand if you hold them horizontally. It was kind of weird. But is there a way to replay chat also? I've seen other replays chat with the live streams.
Yeah, I mean, if you know how you can do
I
just
think
like
there's chat replay.
I have live chat replay put on. Live chat replay shows the original message sent anytime that someone watches the video recording of your live stream. But you'll have to on your end have to turn something on because I have turned it on so it's recorded to replay chat. But
yeah, it might take a minute for your video to hit it, but then once you do, yeah, she should be able to, or yeah, she should be able to click on it and get it to play.
Yeah. And then one of the funny things is I can see when people are watching it and getting really interested and want to and say stuff and start writing because I get it as comments after the fact, but that's fun. I'm not going to talk about that. Is it over? Who won the Commonwealth or the Prudish chick? Today, common sense lost. Because the front of your hand is the same as the back of the hand and the side of your hand. So don't think about it. It'll be fine. As as I always say when we end the show.
John, I apologize. What exhibit are you referring to? I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor. 100. Because it is 100% correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
You see the lawyer's face? Okay, we have to go back and
widower case.
Did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
Wait a minute, I need this story time.
Everybody has.
Everybody has.
Everyone has slept with his mother.
If I showed you.
Oh my God.
I'm having a Jamie moment. And the way he just said it, he was just like, everyone had things on YouTube.
Mr. Randolph, do you?
I got against the man.
You called him chicken shit.
That's right, he was chicken shit.